Real quick, if y'all could retweet the spaces post at the top so we can get some engagement, that would be dope. Here's my story. So I was playing Connect Four, right? I smoked my sister, my brother, my cousin, her uncle, his brother, his sister. I was smoking everybody in the family. I swear to God, right? So my uncle pull up. Now my uncle is the best at Connect Four. I haven't seen him in so long, but everyone told me that he was hot shit, right? Now here's the kicker, and this is where things get a little negative, right? So listen, my uncle is deaf. I didn't know that, right? It's my first time seeing him for like super duper long. So he walks in the room. My cousin sign languages to him. We need you to be gifted. Gift is whooping the family's ass. And he looks at me like it's on, right? So he sits in the chair. We play Connect Four. I beat his ass, like badly, like really really badly, right? And tell me if I'm a bad person for this, right? He's deaf. I threw up a W to him. Is that a bad thing to do? What's that mean to do?
Um. So first of all, we're not about to just skip past all of this. Like there are the multitude of issues of the story. First of all, who
Okay.
plays 75 games to Connect Four?
I
Like
was
who does
hooping.
that? First of all, like
I was
we're
hooping,
not
bro.
about to just skip.
Bro, listen,
Second of all,
I was
second
getting
of all,
easy dubs. I was getting easy dubs, easy dubs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was light.
that makes it even worse. So it's like like you knew your family was bombs, and you was still just
I
what I'm
mean,
saying,
but they
not
wanted
like
smoke.
really.
They wanted smoke, bro. I don't know.
I mean that's valid, but yeah, but I don't see an issue with throwing up. I think everyone gets. I don't see an issue with throwing out the W, but like you
I
started
threw up
off
the
the episode
W
of
to
the
make
locker room.
sure he could hear my shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I did.
You started off the episode of the room by telling us that you beat your deaf uncle in
Absolutely.
Connect Four.
I do it again too. You know.
You, that's some uncalled for shit right there.
Oh
Gifted.
no,
That's
Muhammad, Muhammad,
uncalled
Muhammad,
for.
Muhammad.
That's
Listen, here's how bad it was. I beat him so badly that he asked for two rematches, and I smoked him every time. And my family members all said, "You got to come back here on. You got to come back here on Christmas." You know it's bad when they trying to get you to come back quickly to the next holiday because they know what time it is, bro. He he said I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna get my game up, and it's like, damn, I haven't played this game in 4 years. They just happen to have it, and I was like, all right, let me play. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little rusty, but back in my day, I used to get buckets on Connect Four. I'm just saying that was me.
Can I just say gifted? I want to murder Kelly Oubre, man.
Oh
I hate
dear,
that. I hate that dude.
where the hell
I
did
Have we
that
hate
come
him.
start?
from?
Where did that came
Hold on,
from?
hold on.
He's making every
Have we
fucking
started? Have
three.
we started the locker room?
Oh
Have we
yeah,
started the game
yes.
yet?
So
Have we?
so right now though, right now the recording is live. I did the introduction. I pinned
So
the
is that a
tweet at the top
technical?
of the space. Uh,
So that's a technical.
I'll let him rock. I'll let him rock. I'll
Nah,
let him
you
rock.
he
I'll
let
let
him
him rock.
ride because Gifted knows, man. He hates Kelly Oubre too, man.
I do. I
And
do.
that was allegedly, man.
I
I
don't
do
have a
hate Kelly
Allegedly.
problem
Oubre.
with the Kelly Oubre. I'm just saying, like, like we got to be careful with saying like shooting people and Kelly. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be a professional show. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We
you're
out
right.
here talking.
Hey,
You
Except
know
You're
what I'm
for
saying?
when
right.
it comes to Dylan. Dylan, you
That's
know,
definitely a personal foul, though.
hey,
That's definitely a personal foul to Muhammad.
I
But
just
I'll let
want
it slide.
people to get off their Thanksgiving stories. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to beat my deaf uncle. A lot of people not gonna have the same type of thing, but that was my story for this
I'll
Thanksgiving.
tell you what happened. I'll tell you what I did on Thanksgiving.
What's
All
up?
right, so um, I was just in the crib. Didn't go see family, nothing like that. Um, um, that was a personal decision. It wasn't like bad or anything. I just couldn't afford to do it. But I had like some goals and stuff that I was trying to accomplish. I know with my course and everything. Um, I had some goals and stuff that I was trying to accomplish. So, it looks like it's good, but like I don't have like the official confirmation yet. So I was kind of just like, I did everything I could do, and I'm a firm believer of like if you do everything that you can do and you can't do nothing else, you might also just relax because it's out of your hands at that point.
Right.
So I'm not gonna lie. I got CrossFitted. I was pulling. I was lit. You know what I'm saying? We dropped, our song has 35,000 streams on Spotify alone in a week. So we was just in the crib, just booming music, just lit. You know what I'm saying? Had a shorty pull up. You know what I'm saying? It was good times. It was good times. You feel me? But it definitely wasn't doing the traditional family Thanksgiving stuff. I was kind of just living life. So, that's my shit was pretty regular.
By the way, Eli, you know the vibes. We don't do hands. You can literally just go ahead. So
I have forgot. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't know if I can get this explicit, but you guys ever watched American Dad? Or not American Dad, American Pie?
yeah, when I was younger, yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? My dog, he got a hand on one of the pies, bro. And he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't eat
Oh
them.
man,
You know what I'm saying?
oh
It
man.
was crazy. Had
Why
to,
did you
had,
feel the need to talk?
had to, you know what I'm saying? Go to. I think it might have been Walgreens, bro. Had to get one of the pre-made pies. You know what I'm saying? Because he went crazy, bro. It's
You
wild.
know what that
I feel like that's a tech.
that
I ain't
reminds you
gonna
of?
lie. I feel like that's his first tech. I ain't.
You asked for taste. You asked for taste,
Okay. Hard
You might need to
foul.
review
You
that.
asked for
Super hard
Thanksgiving first,
foul.
bro. And I'm
Super
just
hard
telling
foul.
I'm
Super
just
hard
telling
foul.
you what happened.
That's
I'm just
very
telling you what happened
borderline.
yesterday. I'm just telling you
That
what
might
happened yesterday, bro. Like,
that might be.
That's a
The
super hard
hey
Wizards
yo,
foul.
fan
Zion.
is here.
Hey yo,
The new
Zion's gonna
Wizards
be
fan
out
is
for
here.
another 2 weeks though.
DC above all, bro. DC above all.
I welcome classy. Right now we're talking about what we did for Thanksgiving, and then we're gonna get right in the hoops. I beat my deaf uncle in Connect Four several times and was talking shit to him, even though he couldn't hear me. So that was lit. How was your Thanksgiving, classy?
I ate good. That's all. All I did is eat.
No. Listen. I can tell you.
Oh, on Thanksgiving, I also went on Instagram Live with Eli, and we also talked to some girls. Instagram Live,
Yeah.
But he had no game or sauce whatsoever.
Stop it. I'm already in the private story, bro. You're not even in there. So let's chill out
I'm
for a
not.
second, bro.
I've been
We're
in
not
there
even in the
for like
close friends, buddy. I'm already in the
been
close
there for
friends.
like 6 months, bro.
In one day,
Relax.
Bill. Let's stop it, buddy. Let's stop it.
Yeah, are you mad? You mad? Stay mad. You got the number? Oh, okay then. Oh, okay.
Whatever, bro. You know it personally. Let's stop it, bro.
Okay. So essentially, y'all both wasn't on shit. All right, cool. Dylan, what did you do for your Thanksgiving? And then we'll get right to hoops.
What's good, y'all? Happy Friday. Ate food with the family. That's about it. Got drunk as fuck. Lions stink. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it basically was about every single Thanksgiving.
I'm not.
Well, I guess ever since I started drinking
Especially,
alcohol,
I would agree.
not
Especially the
legal.
last part.
I'm not gonna lie. Those 100s that Felix put up when Dylan said the shit he said about the Lions was toxic. But we gonna get right in the hoops. Speaking of Thanksgiving, Zion is back. He's cleared to play
That
basketball
was
now.
such a fucked up segue. That was a fucked up segue.
I'll stand by it too.
really
By the way, I'm so with that segue. But
That
yeah,
was a terrible sneak diss, bro. Come on.
it
I'd
definitely
like
was.
to point out that the NBA has no games on TV tonight, at least that I can watch. So I will be watching college basketball.
I certainly will.
Yo,
I
I
just
can't
want
wait
to
to
point.
watch
I just
Duke
want to point
versus
out how
Gonzaga.
difficult it is to be a Lakers fan on the East Coast because the Laker game is on at 10:30, but I'm also a Duke fan, and we play Gonzaga at 10:30 as well. So, I just want to point out the pain and the suffering that Lakers fans have to go through watching my game at 10:30, 10:45, 11 at night when I have shit to do the next day.
Boo.
Come on, man. You got 17 rings as a franchise. What are you talking about?
I don't understand. I don't understand why other fans say Laker fans have 17 rings. One, we don't know that we have 17 rings. I didn't watch this.
Okay, you still have rings, Felix. You watched the rings.
But Muhammad is
Muhammad,
how the Timberwolves
You gotta
right
stay
now?
up to watch LeBron James.
What does the 17
Eli,
have
you're a
to
Miami
do
Heat
with
fan.
me?
Stop talking, man.
Muhammad, what does him having 17 rings have to do with the fact that I still have to stay up late as fuck when I've done shit all day to watch the game? That doesn't change that.
Let's be honest here tonight, though, Felix. It's pretty obvious which game is better and worth watching.
It is pretty obvious. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is.
Oh no! Oh, I'm absolutely watching Duke play Gonzaga. What are you
no
talking
doubt.
about?
Right.
I'm
Absolutely no
looking at
doubt
that.
on that. Yeah.
And if
whenever
Coach
you
K
guys get a chance, you guys gotta go see this Auburn kid, man. Jabari Smith. That dude's he's real deal.
That
We watching the
really
national championship
that
tonight.
tall white dude. You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about
You
There
Chet?
talking
was
about
that.
Chet? You talking about Chet?
That yeah, bro. I watched him. I watched.
You're gonna see
I watched
Chet
him.
tonight, but the problem is with Gonzaga, you're not gonna be able to see Chet like you're not gonna be able to see as much as him as you want because the fucking Drew Timmy's still there.
I mean, listen, man. You know these marquee matchups. You know what I'm saying? As a Duke fan, I'm really gonna have to watch these because like this Coach Chase last year. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you know these came kind of a down.
Final dance, no cap, bro. We finna. They got us ranked 5, bro. This is so disrespectful. How do you beat a top 5 team in your first game? You're ranked 5. That's weird to me, but it's whatever.
I don't
Finna
give
be,
a fuck about that. I remember when Kentucky was undefeated and we ended up winning the championship. You know what I'm saying? I remember a lot of things. I don't care about the records. I trust my coach. You feel me? At the end of the day, I
yo,
trust my coach.
we finna beat Gonzaga, bro. Boom, straight back to number 1, bro. And niggas gonna be looking around, bro. This is the last dance, bro. Like no cap, bro. Like it's
This is the
over.
last.
Man
The
said
league.
this is the last dance,
The
and you guys
last
are
dance.
number 1 in recruiting. You guys are dead ass number 1 in recruiting again. Like, what are
It
you
don't
talking
matter
about?
Of
though,
course, it's Duke. What do you mean?
Man
Bro,
said,
bro.
man
We
said,
were
oh,
nothing before
this
Coach
is the
K.
last dance. We got 3 5-stars coming through.
Bro, we were
next year
nothing. We were.
we got 3 5 stars next year. We really do. Damn, we do have
The
all 3
man
5 stars.
really said this is the last dance. Look
It
out of here.
doesn't matter though, bro. We were nothing without Coach K. We're probably gonna be nothing with. You know what I'm
All
saying?
What?
right,
Even if it's
that's
not true,
is that
I
is
can't
that a tech?
imagine.
You count that as technical?
That should be a technical. That's
That's
ridiculous.
no, because that's the second one. That's the second
Nah,
one.
nah,
Already.
nah, 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 nah. It's a little too early, but he for sure got one tech. He for sure got one tech because he has been on edge.
That's a tech, right? But that's one tech. But that's got to be a tech. There's no way
Bro,
because he said
come
fuck
on,
then.
wait,
That's
wait,
got to
wait.
be a tech, right?
Felix, I'm a Duke fan. The '80s years were not good, bro. We were not
Eli,
good.
Oh
Eli.
shit, he
Listen,
muted.
all I'm
Oh,
saying, it's not about what you said. It's about the fact that you said that within a 5-10 minute time frame of referencing what your dog did to your pie, referencing that to American Pie off rip. That's why it's a tech.
hello
Okay,
YouTube.
it's just like that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with you thinking what you got to think. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like it's too close back to back. You feel me? But nah, I mean we can get into it. You know what I'm saying? Zion's back, and I don't think he plays for about 2 more weeks, and I don't think that's for any Thanksgiving jokes. I just think that to my eye, his foot's great. His foot's healthy, cool, but he still looks out of shape to me. So, we'll see what happens. But and also like the Pelicans aren't very good, and I don't see. Oh, add Zion onto the Pelicans, they're going to become. No, I don't
They're
see
gonna
that.
become watchable though.
They will
They'll be
become
watchable,
watchable.
but it's like
They're
I'm
gonna
like
become
the
watchable.
whole like anyone who thinks that Zion's going to lead the Pelicans to the playoffs. I think since the bubble, like that dream kind of is gone. You know what I'm saying? So we can get into
We
Zion.
got bad news for the Suns, but good news for Devin Booker. If Devin Booker makes All NBA this year, he's super max eligible, and he can
Ooh,
get extended on a super max this offseason.
okay.
Bro, if they keep doing what they're doing, he's what's
He,
this? This is like they're up 20. They're up 20 right now. This is gonna make what 15 straight.
Yeah, they're smacking the Knicks.
smacking the
And no
Knicks.
one's talking. No one is talking about it,
Nobody
bro. You
cares.
look
Well,
up.
not only is no one talking about it, but I legit saw Shadow tweet on the timeline today that the Clippers are still better than the Suns.
He did tweet that out, and that's just no.
Yeah, you're. I
I'm
won't
not
say
going
that
with
because
that.
you're streaming.
I
Good
mean,
looks.
and again, let's guys. This is the same app where literally our last episode, somebody told me that the Clippers are a better team than we were, even though we won a chip. You know what I'm saying? So like again, like it's Twitter.
No, I don't, listen. That's not the same
Even though we
degree as
won a
take.
chip.
But the reason that's how you know because that's how you know the Suns are contenders for the Warriors because every time we mention the Suns, even when it has nothing to do with in relation to the Warriors,
People bring
every
up the
Warriors
Suns.
fan
Yeah,
they
exactly.
bring
The
up the
thing is
Suns.
because the Warriors fans think that like they're number one and like nobody else is close. And
And I
I'm not going to
heavily
disagree
disagree.
that they're not. They're definitely number one, but I just think that they're going to be in for a rude awakening when they see all these series go to 6 or 7.
So for me, again, the rankings don't necessarily matter to me right now because again, it's the day after Thanksgiving. Like
Right.
all of these rankings. Like, and I don't mean like just in basketball. Like, we can go to every sport and look at the rankings in the beginning around this time frame, in the beginning of the season. Look at what are at the end of the season. 9 times out of 10, very few teams are showing that same sense. I'm not saying the Warriors are going to pull off or anything, but like the Warriors look unstoppable now, and then they'll go back to beating themselves, and then the Nuggets look unstoppable, and the Bucks look unstoppable. You already know, like teams go about 2 to 3 weeks for oh my god, nobody can beat this team, and then they lose, and it's like oh okay, well
Yep.
like we know what happens, guys.
But
So
Felix,
let's just
do we think that the Warriors, like you said themselves, are we sure themselves isn't this unbeatable monster right now?
I mean, like I said, Golden State has a system that's working, and like they went through a lot of growing pains last year to get that system working. I think last year, it was as likely as it gets because of the fact that they had the system, but guys weren't taking advantage of opportunities, and now we have guys who are taking advantage of that. However, every system has its flaws. Every system can be beat. Every system can be countered, all depending on the personnel group. And I think it's just a matter of like, you know, kind of seeing those things. I think the Warriors are a good team. Again, Gifted already knows. You already know. I said I picked the Golden State Warriors to be in the Western Conference Finals in the beginning of the season. I said especially if Clay comes back, like if Clay comes back, like I think he will. Even if he takes time, if he comes back and he's healthy, I got them in the Western Conference Finals. I've said that 1,000 times. So like for me, like I already know what's up with Golden State. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are a problem. So like that's as long as those two are dynamic, those guys are going to be a problem. Whether I'm a Lakers fan, whether I'm a Suns fan, whether I'm whatever, that's going to be a team that you're going to have to look at. So what they're doing right now doesn't surprise me. But like it's this the day
Tonight's
after
going to
next.
be a big game for them. Like their bench is pretty depleted. They're missing guys. Chris Jones is going to have to play major minutes tonight, which isn't ideal.
Yeah.
And they're playing a team that's fully healthy. So
Yeah, that's true. I think Golden State will be fine. Like I think we all kind of is like Golden State's one of those teams where you are.
one thing that pisses me off about them is that these third quarter, fourth quarter comebacks, which are fine, like I get it, but like why do they play so dumb?
Why do
in the
we put
beginning of the
ourselves
game?
in a position to even have to
Like
do that?
You guys
Yeah.
legit play like morons. Like
Yeah.
I was watching the other day, and you guys are like full court inbounding on the inbounds, and it's like just slow the fucking offense down. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
But Dylan, that's been a problem for years. They do this thing where like they can play out of control a lot. Some nights that type of pace can run teams out of the building. Other nights we're down 20 in the first quarter. It really be like that.
Like the other night versus Philly, I was literally saying like, "Yo, they are playing so fast right now.
Yeah.
They have no control of the pace.
Yep.
You guys were down, and I was like, I know they're gonna come back. I literally tweeted this. I know they're gonna come back and win. But if Embiid was here tonight, these dudes would get fucking pounded out the gym because Embiid would go in there, slow that bitch down, and would have been like, all right, so here's how we're playing tonight.
Yep.
Because you guys are running fast as hell and wouldn't slow down.
But isn't that the concern with them? Like interior defense. And I know people are gonna throw the field goal percentage allowed at the rim.
I don't care about that. I agree with you, nerd. That is a weakness. I don't care about that.
That's a different story when it's Giannis.
It's a different story when it's one of the best guys at attacking the paint. Right? Like it's just I'm sorry. It's just different.
Last year, I was really trying to find some of the power forwards that had bad games on Draymond. And like for the interior scores, there really wasn't a lot of them. Zion still did his thing. Shit, even Julius Randle was doing his thing at the rim for Draymond last year.
People talk about the playing game and how bad Anthony Davis was, and
what's happening?
And forget he had 20 in the second half, bro.
Yeah.
Like didn't the Lakers have like 40 points in the paint in the second half?
I believe so.
Like that?
I believe so. Something like that.
The Knicks are not a fun team to watch, man. I just don't like watching them like at all.
Yo, Dylan, why today? You low key sound like Bill Simmons today. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you saying I sound racist? Because that's fucked up.
It's Dylan's microphone right now. It's all right.
I don't have a mic. I'm just talking into my phone.
He's waiting for it to come in, yeah.
I didn't even know Bill Simmons was racist, but that's an L. But
No, he's not racist. He's just old and like refuses to let go of racist verbiage.
That's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Eli, Like Eli, I want you to know that if you was in person, I would have slapped the back of your neck for that. Like you know that, right?
Damn.
Like, can't believe you just said that. Oh, he's not. He's not rich. He's got a lot of money in his bank account.
So
That was a joke, Felix. I was joking.
I'm a quickly I'm gonna quickly pivot back from this fuck situation. Here's the thing, right? Everyone like I don't like the Golden State fans who are trying to act like we're untouchable right now. I understand we've won a lot of games, but the lackadaisical play is not a new weakness. They've always been
Not
like that,
definitely.
and they get right in the third quarter. But the problem is you can't do that against the great teams. When the games really matter, we were able to take control of the ball, but there's also going to be moments where there's offensive inconsistencies. However, I think when Klay Thompson gets back, they're going to be able to get away with it even more just because the options he's going to open up for guys at the rim is going to grant the Warriors more grace to make those types of mistakes. Like, I think having Klay Thompson added on this roster increases the margin of error that they can play at, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing, but it will happen. As I eat this cucumber.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of like what happens with championship teams. In all honesty, like I said, it's difficult. Like I always shit on my Lakers for doing that, and I'm still going to because it's a bad habit that needs to be broken. But like, I mean, the Bucks do it too. Like they're all teams like who would think that they're or who have had success. Sometimes come out like a days ago or make simple mistakes and then turn it on later on. It's still a bad habit to have, but I
Right.
mean, you know, also it's also depending on how you see it because some teams see that as overcoming adversity and blah 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 blah. Some see it as taking it a challenge. I see it as a bad habit. Maybe it's because I've seen my Lakers do it when we won the chip or not, and it pisses me off. Maybe it's because I see Kobe and but that Kobe would never let my Lakers do that. I don't know, but like for me, like when I just see like all right, we'll get him in the second half. To me, I'm like, I'm not really a fan of that. I don't want it to be difficult. The
Right.
way when I played sports, I was taught not to give them any hope. My coach always said, don't give them any hope. Don't give them no hope, nothing. Don't like make it to where these dudes don't want to be here anymore. Make it to where these dudes think about why are they playing this sport. So
Right.
we got guys celebrating and dancing and stuff in the first quarter. It's great if I hit two deep threes to end the game and do my talented celebration, but like we're playing the Pacers. like,
Right.
but maybe that's just me. So like, who knows?
The
Bro.
problem with the Warrior, which isn't really a problem, but like when people talk about like Chris Paul or whatever, and they always mention the word pace, I
Yep.
don't think this at all makes him better than Curry, but like Chris Paul legit, like, and I think that's why the Suns are so good too, or any team he's been on. The game is gonna go as fast as Chris Paul wants it to go. It's literally as fast as he wants it to go, and the same can be said for Steph Curry, because like when you watch, the game moves fast as fuck when he's on. And that's why I always thought the conversations about who's better when they're hot between Clay and Steph Curry was like weird to me, because when Steph Curry's on, that means the game is moving fast as fuck and you're probably down 40 before the third quarter even starts. When I get that's why the first halves are sloppy and the third
Yep.
quarter is better, is because they catch fire in the third, which is why I think it's just shooting variance some nights why it happens. But like, at what point, like, if you're just gonna come back in the third, some nights you're gonna miss and you're gonna lose that game. And
Absolutely.
I don't think that's something you wanna do. The thing about Steph though is that he's someone who, like, his shooting variance isn't as it doesn't have as much noise as other people's, because the guy doesn't really miss.
Hey, bro. There's a game I can highlight this season where there was a consistent dominance in the game, and we like completely blew the game open. Unfortunately, it's not against a team that's like really contending or whatever. But against the Pelicans, I saw them consistently play a full 48 minutes, hitting shots, defense, all of that. But then you look at a game like the second game in the season versus the Clippers, right? Like literally, we were airing them out in the beginning, and then we laxed up, and the Clippers got back in the game, and then we had a great third quarter run, but then so did they, and the game was really close in the fourth quarter. And specifically, when you're trying to get through the regular season, a lot of these games needs to get packed up early, because part of what made the 2016 so good is because they were able to blow teams out early so the stars could rest in the fourth. I want to bring that type of thing back consistently from a game to game basis, because I don't like having to have these guys have to play extended minutes all the way throughout.
Don't get me started on the Timberwolves tonight, man. Sold.
Woo. Hey, bro.
What a
Anthony Edwards is fucking like that, man. I love Ant-Man, bro. He's really, really good.
That
Yo.
wasn't a. That was.
yo no
That was
troll
not.
no troll.
that-
Oh my bad, Felix.
Go ahead. You good?
You brought up the Pelicans, and I was just reminded, the Pelicans are genuinely one of the worst teams I've ever seen.
Yeah,
But Josh Hart is so good, man.
bro.
Somebody please get Josh Hart on a good team.
Nerd,
man.
listen, nerd. I swear to God, I don't know if you heard me, but I literally said, and you might not agree, but I said this in the offseason. I said Josh Hart is the most underrated bench player in the league. I said this all offseason. People laughed at me and shit. Josh Hart is really good, man. Really, really good.
He's
Hey,
balling
Gifted,
right now.
speaking about the Warriors,
Yeah.
put one thought out there. I just don't see a team that has a consistent defense that's going to stop the Warriors from doing what they do, which is moving the ball very well, and force them to beat them with sheer talent and isolation.
Yeah, I don't see one
the
either.
One thing you're gonna like we saw. So 2016 is the best example, and the Steph injury kind of rubs it off. But how they were able to double him and force Harrison Barnes to do stuff, like that's the only way you can beat them. Like you have to force someone else to be the decision maker.
Yo, what's
but
good,
like
Zara?
we
My
saw
bad.
what happened in
I did not see
Toronto
the
the other
chat.
night
Welcome to the stream,
when
my
they
boy.
went all out, and then Golden State was
How's
on
it going?
fire. The thing is
I don't
that
see it
like
either, though, bro.
role
really
players
don't.
won't be on for a whole entire series. So you just either have to get lucky, and then your ISO scoring can outdo whatever they put up, or you're gonna lose. Like Steph Curry is genuinely a very hard. Like you can't guard him, man. You really can't. And when you do guard him, somebody else is eating. Like Draymond having 32 points in a finals game. Like we all know Draymond's not scoring 32 by himself.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
If I were playing the Warriors, I would keep Curry out of the game. I would keep Jordan
really
Poole
good,
out
guys.
of the game.
Really good.
And I would force Andrew Wiggins and
I
Klay
appreciate the
Thompson
support, Elzar.
to beat me. And I didn't include Draymond because he's not doing much offensively. And
Hey, Tino, I ate really good. I ate really, really good. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving.
and go cry myself to sleep.
It
Yeah,
is
you know,
a
I
lot.
used to think that
A lot
doubling off of
easier.
I
Go
used to think that doubling off of Draymond would be like a solution, but then when you look at how their offense is structured, they just do a quick screen for Curry, and Curry gets wide open because you're dropping off of Draymond.
All the small things Kevon Looney does is so funny because, like, you watch him, right, and he misses a dunk, he misses a layup. Warriors fans are talking about how he's ass, but then he sets a perfect screen for Curry in the corner.
It's okay if you
Or he
don't do
sets a
it.
perfect
As long
screen
as
for
you
Jordan
eat good,
Poole,
you
or he
valid.
passes to someone when
That's
they're
it.
wide open. It's like you're not going to get that from any of the other people on your roster that can also like play defense, you know. So like for as bad as Kevon Looney is, some nights he offers you something that like other people don't, which is good in like the 18 minutes a night that he plays.
That's what hurts me though, Dylan, right? Because I understand that Looney does all the things that don't show up. Like the off-ball screens, he's a phenomenal screener. He understands his reads on and off the ball. The problem with him is he just doesn't have the talent to be really good offensively consistently. And I think that
He cannot finish, bro. He
Yeah.
cannot finish.
He
Y'all
can't
saw
finish.
airball at mid-range the other night.
Bro, listen, literally go back to the Lakers game opening night. The amount of catches he had that were turnovers and blocks and like shots he didn't finish was painful. But I understand the value he brings to the team. That's why in the offseason I was literally saying, yo, I want Kevon Looney to be a backup big because he is the perfect backup big, a guy that can come in, give you 15, 16 minutes, that's not gonna be like a defensive liability. Like he's a real utility guy. The only thing is that's all dependent on how Wiseman comes along defensively, and I don't know how much faith I have in that this season.
He is a Bogut light. Like the thing that and which is crazy for the system. He does all the things that Bogut did, except like way worse. Like he sets perfect screens. He can pass.
I agree.
He can play defense. The only problem we have right now is that
Hey, this
Andrew
game's
Bogut
tonight gonna be
does,
fire, by the way.
and
Tap in.
Kevon Looney can't. He tries.
But I think he had a neck injury. That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was almost paralyzed.
Jesus.
That is true. Yeah.
He's like an inch away from being paralyzed.
By the way, Sean, I just want to say welcome to the locker room, Sean. I brought you up here to say two things. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you ate really good. And also Bing Bong.
And let me guess what you other. Let me guess. I knew it. You guys are disgusting. I hope you deserve ice cream smash. You can deserve ice cream smashed in your face. Oh yeah, when they put Kevin Knox in, I was like, all right, this is over. I can join the locker room now.
Oh man.
I was like, Tibbs put in Kevin Knox at 8 minutes left. Tibbs is trying to go to the bar after this.
I ain't gonna lie, Kevin Knox does not look like an NBA player, bro.
Sean, you wanna know what happened tonight too? An underrated factor about this
I
game.
sure am.
I'm sorry, but it wasn't the Alfred Payton revenge game. It really, Alfred Payton had filled that locker room with blood tonight. All right, and they were furious and they wanted it.
I see a straight vibes in the locker room tonight. I fuck with it. Yo, then we give it a backdoor. We give it a backdoor alley. Why is Ayton still in the game?
Sean,
This is disrespectful.
I need you to listen. I need you to tell me with a straight face, bro. I put money on the Knicks, not in this game. Okay, Bolu told me 2 months ago that when the Hawks meet the Knicks, that they gonna blow out the Knicks, this and that. And I said, okay, bet it up. We got a 13-point spread. Is that still a good bet now?
Yes.
Thank you.
What the fuck would you take a third? What is wrong with Bolu? Bolu does not know how to bet.
I don't think y'all understand.
No, he doesn't.
He
Most
actually
people don't
won
know
a
that.
bet because he said the Hawks were gonna blow out the Dallas Mavericks, and he took a 15-point spread and won. I was so mad. Like, there's no reason why you should have won that. But
You just keep betting with Bolu if he's.
I'm gonna just keep doing it all season long. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit a Bolu for the Super Bowl. Hopefully, he can give me a 14. Hopefully, he can give me a 14.
Yeah.
14 points.
Yeah. So I didn't watch this game, Sean. Sean, what did the Knicks do badly in this game? Like, I literally cut the game on, and it's like
Everything.
scoreboard.
So the first quarter was pretty close. The second quarter, they went 5 of 18 in the second quarter, and then, well, honestly, the Suns are shooting 53% from the field. Like Booker's hitting everything, and then the transition D started to flop and then game just got away from them, and then they were down. I think they were down. They were down like 5 after the first quarter. It's like, all right, it's fine. And then they were down like 18 at halftime. Because like
Booker
I said,
doing 21 and a half.
Hey, Sean, I have a quick question.
Booker at 21 at halftime.
yes.
Yeah, Sean, I have a quick question for you. What are your thoughts on Julius Randle? Is he selfish? Is he a good team player? How do you guys think that he fits into the Knicks system and what they're trying to do?
Well, okay, so there's 2 questions there. How does he fit into the system? Well, I mean, last year he was the system.
Facts.
And this year we're trying to figure out ways where the offense can make life easier. But come on, Kevin Knox. Oh God, anyway. So the system ain't the system. I don't know if that's the system problem. In terms of long-term plans, every Knicks fan knows that like Julius Randle not the best player on the championship team. He's not. He may be the number 2 player on the championship team, but I mean, this year was always going to be transitional because they could not. The Knicks, there was no move the Knicks could make. Okay, go ahead, buddy. There's no move the Knicks could have made that would have made them a championship contender. But at the same time, if we just ran the same team back, we would be like 7-6 13.
It would be bad if y'all ran the
So,
exact same
here we
team
are.
back. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why the only thing that bothers me as a Knicks fan right now, what they're playing is how they're playing. Especially the starters, like their effort just sucks. That's their effort stinks. If they played hard and they had the same record, no, it wouldn't be that bad. Like, but when they don't play hard, it's like, who are you not to play hard? So that's where we're at.
Yo, who was this young dude in here right now boarding up, and who just caught a body?
Kevin Knox just caught a body, and the young dude with the big hair, that's Miles McBride.
That's the center that's boarding up?
Oh no, the center. That's
Miles
Jericho
McBride is
Sims.
a point
Wait,
guard.
Kevin Knox still plays for y'all?
Yes.
No,
doesn't
no,
play
not
much.
really.
Yeah,
He's
Sean.
like a celebratory cigar, or
I
like
might
they're
be
the plastic
behind.
cigar.
I'm streaming, so I might be behind y'all. I might be behind. But yeah. So yeah, the big dude, 45. That's Jericho Sims. Yeah, Tibbs emptied the bench. All three of our rookies are in.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, this game's over, bro.
Hey,
The
yo,
Suns
Miles
lost.
McBride getting minutes, bro. I'm finna. I love that guy.
I just
Bro,
want to.
Sean, I have
just
one more question. How bad is what is it called, Kemba Walker's defense?
It's bad. It's not good, but we knew that. Like
Look
Yeah.
at that dude.
we knew that already. But like that's not the problem. Like the problem is that he is not offensively. He's like he can't cook, he can't get past anybody, and you can't hit, and he's
He's
not
got out
hitting
there
jump
right in
shots.
his knee.
Yep.
Yeah, like whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Yo, Sean.
I just want to say, like, Kelly Oubre has hit 7 threes. I'm confused, Gifted. I thought Steph's gravity was supposed to make. No, I'm playing. Kelly Oubre hits 7 threes. So
I was
that's just
about to get
wild.
on your ass, but
Yo, can I ask Sean a question real quick? Then I can lead the space. Sean, give me the rundown of what happened tonight. I only watched the first half. What happened in the second half? Why the Suns just?
It started in the second quarter. We shot 5-18 in the second quarter. They continued the hot shooting. Like I said, Booker had 21 at 20. He had 21 at the half. And then our transition defense got sloppy, and the Suns kept the intensity, and we just stopped moving the ball as we were wont to do, and the game just got away from us, and that was it. When this game was over halfway in the third.
it was.
What's going on with my main man RJ Barrett? What's going on? What's happening, bro?
It's looking tough for RJ, by the way, right now, chat.
I don't know what's going on, bro.
Honestly, I'll say this: I need RJ. Well, honestly, his confidence is shot because like he'll get the ball on the perimeter, he'll get to like foul line extended, and then pull up and shoot instead of going to the basket. He'll get over like he's confident. He's in his own head. He's going bad. He's going through it bad. Like he had 2 threes at one point. Like he had like 6 points in the first half. I was like, all right, whatever. And his confidence is shot. Period. Right now, it's sad to watch. Why is Chris Paul still in the game? Get up, get the fuck out of here. All right, yeah. So anyway, that's it.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Snakes.
I will listen.
Snakes.
I run from no one. I will be back here in this bitch tomorrow.
See, I appreciate Sean.
Sean.
Transparency.
So John Morant is
He's injured.
He has a left knee injury and will be undergoing imaging in the next coming hours.
Oh man.
He's gonna be an ACL.
Damn.
You said what, Dylan?
He has a left knee injury and will be undergoing imaging in the next coming hours.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it didn't look good.
That was pretty obvious, Dylan.
I thought it really didn't look
it
good.
was obvious, but like I didn't know if it was going to be a knee or an ankle.
Fair.
I've been summoned by my. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, I don't watch a lot of Knicks games. Like I might watch them when they're playing like the Lakers.
Tino, I really hope it's not ACL or
But
Achilles. That'd be bad.
From a couple of nights ago, what I noticed is like Julius Randle likes to do a lot of isolations plays when they're down and they really need a bucket.
Yes.
And this season, I was expecting Randle to like have an efficient season. He's getting a lot of space from guys like Walker, who's struggling right now, and Evan.
I think it's 100% knee.
Good scoring options.
It might be ACL, to be honest.
I do kind of see him like taking them out of possessions and isolating at times. What are your thoughts on that?
What I would say is that what we've seen from Julius this year is either because ISO Julius or playmaking Julius, but playmaking Julius is like if I'm not like, or there's no in between, right? So in fact, in the first game he killed the Celtics, right? And then next couple of games after that, he wasn't scoring as much, he was making the right basketball plays, and finding the right people, whatever. We were 5-1, but then he gets into
And now
this. What
Ja been
happens
hooping the
is he
whole
gets in
season.
this mode of like,
The whole season.
all right, time for me to get mine now. Oh, Evan got one, and RJ got one. Now it's time to get mine. And then he'll just start going into ISO stuff. And also, to be fair, a lot of times because the offense isn't doing well, they'll just dump it in. They'll just like dump it in the
point
homeboy
Drummond.
with like
Nah,
8
you
seconds left of
violated.
the shot clock. So it's like, what
You
can
violated.
So look, Julius is a limited player in terms of like your ceiling is only but so high if he's your best player. And the thought process was he wouldn't have to do everything if we bring in other people who can do stuff. But for some reason, it just is not working. And I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. Guys, Evan Fournier is balling out, bro.
He's come on as of late. Like, I'm actually gonna send for Chris on Monday because Chris likes to say Evan Fournier. Like, nah, he is not the problem. Like, the problem is we're not getting the playmaking from our point guard that we wanted to get. Our offense is way too stagnant, and then defensively they don't bring the same effort. They don't bring the same effort. Also, I would like to think this game will be different if Derrick Rose is playing. But c'est la vie.
I gotta be honest
what is
with
the
you,
big
Sean.
drop off from last year
I gotta be
to
honest.
this
I gotta
year
be honest with you, Sean.
defensively?
You're not gonna like this, but you already knew this, right? Like, I had the Knicks in the playoffs this year because I thought the defense wouldn't drop off, but I understood the question marks around Julius Randle. I never thought of Randle to be this in control player who can make plays. He's more of a downhill guy, bruiser type, who can occasionally put his team in position to score, but I never thought of him as like a leader type of guy to take on that type of offensive load. And I think that's kind of showing its head right now. So I'm not kind of surprised by this little stretch, but the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is exactly what you said, the effort defensively. Like, I'm just not seeing it as much so far, and that's really really unfortunate to say because to me that was going to be the X factor for why the Knicks make the playoffs, for why the Knicks would even be relevant this year, would be the effort defensively. Because all year last year, they were one of the teams in the league that had so much drive, so much passion, that will and that effort would win them games, even though they had limited spacing. So I thought, okay, if you combine that with two guards who can shoot and play make, even though you're giving up a little bit defensively, I thought that they would be able to still regress from how they played last season, but still be a playoff team. It's looking kind of shaky right now, and I'm not quite sure what else you can do because really your success is tied to how good Julius Randle is on a night in, night out basis. If he's playing well, y'all gonna win games. If he doesn't, y'all gonna lose.
I tried to tell him.
So I'll say this. So the move that people have been clamoring for is that quickly should start over what's his name, over Kemba. And I don't necessarily agree with that because, like my man Mess and I always say, he has to get better at finishing at the rim. I think the understanding was homeboy. With Tom Thibodeau's your coach, you should have a top 10 offense. Like, so that shouldn't be the problem. But these dudes, like, you can't teach effort. They don't give the same effort. It's literally like the Knicks starting five is like the worst 5 unit in the league. And the bench of Taj, Obi, Quickly, Burks, and who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. No, yeah, Obi, Quickly, Taj, Burks.
Hot take: Fournier's next best player. You might be
name.
right.
Like they're like the best 5-man.
You might be right. He's been a bit more impactful than other guys, so I won't be mad at that, honestly.
Obi's problem is that he plays the same position as Julius Randle. That's Obi's problem.
That's the issue. That is indeed the issue. I would agree.
And I actually said this I said this on Live from the Mecca. I said, I wonder what this team, like, let's say Julius went like full Kyrie and said, I'm not playing no more because I didn't get the vaccine. What would this team look like?
Oh, I don't think
What
you
would they
want to
look
know.
like?
I don't think.
Oh,
I
this
don't think
team
you
would
want to
not
know
be a
what the
playoff
team
team. This
looks like.
team would be one of the worst teams in the league.
But you know,
You guys might get Paolo.
no. But what I'm saying is they would like Obi is getting 12 minutes a game. 12.
Yeah,
He clearly deserves more than 12, but he
agreed.
plays behind Julius Randle. So listen, this was always going to be a transition year. I told everybody who will listen. Not all progress is linear. The Hawks is finding that out this year with their 9-9 ass. But you know, here's where we are. But I'm not like this tonight. Don't even bother me because like literally the Suns haven't lost a game since Halloween. So why I'm not really gonna get mad about that. I want to see what tomorrow looks like. Like if they play lackluster and there's no effort tomorrow, they're gonna be happy that game's in Atlanta because if they do that in MSG, it would be toxic.
They better show effort tomorrow. I got money on the Knicks, not to win, but just to not get blown out from beyond 13 points. That's it. Just show me some effort. If you show me some effort, we good. But we'll see.
You think you should trade Obi?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
Why would they trade Obi?
I don't have a problem with Obi, but a lot of Knicks fans seem like they hate him.
Because he wasn't that good last year.
Oh,
He's
and by
playing
the way,
really well
to
right now.
anyone who said that Tom Thibodeau don't play rookies, like we all wanted Obi benched last year because he was garbage and Tibbs kept playing him.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's another narrative that can go down the wayside. But he's playing well. He improved. He improved. Quick has improved. That's why I say like, and the reason I asked about like Julius Randle because like, yo, so if we all know the next great Knicks team ain't gonna have Julius Randle as the best player, so it's like, what do we do?
So my problem with the Knicks right now.
I must admit, Sean got a kick out of listening to you talk about RJ Barrett like that.
Oh,
That was yeah.
We know how you do.
That was, you know how I do. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means, but I just thought you want to turn it back to me, but I just thought I'm talking about RJ Barrett. I thought I got a kick out of listening to you say he's in his head.
I don't
So
know.
would you say he's underachieving?
Right now, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very funny to me.
Why
that's my only question.
Brad funny as fuck.
Denver might be the worst team in the league, by the way, without Jokic right now, without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.
Without Michael Porter Jr., yeah.
Yeah, this team is pretty.
Who do they have? Aaron Gordon.
Yo,
Will
Dylan,
Barton?
can I ask you a question, man?
I'm sure
Jokic is gonna come back.
I have a question for Brad. I'm asking. He said it's funny. I'm just trying to find out why is it funny.
It's funny to me because, you know, I think my first encounter with you, you ran off about RJ Barrett. You act like I hated the guy.
For smoke?
All I did was say he was underachieving.
Did Brad come in the chat looking
for
smoke, y'all?
You're admitting he's underachieving. Shit. You even went further. You said he's in his head. That he doesn't know what he's doing. And I just
say
think
he doesn't know what he's doing. I said he's in his own head.
Well, whatever that means. I just thought that funny coming from you. Trust me, I'm really laughing about that one.
He's sending some shade, ain't he?
I didn't think that you hated RJ Barrett. I know this. I know what you're talking about. What I asked you, I said the thing was, I was like, RJ Barrett gets more smoke for his performances than other lottery picks. For example, Jarrett Culver, who literally didn't even make it to a second contract before he got traded, no one cares. And you had said that he's underachieving. And I asked you to give me an example of why he was underachieving. And you hemmed and you hawed and you hemmed and you hawed. And you said, I'm not going to answer that question. So that's why I was like, well, because I could have given you no reason why. So now you're back here like, now I find this funny because he's underachieving right now. Like he's going through a bad stretch. You know, when he was averaging 25 points a game the second week of the season, you were nowhere to be found. So, listen, the NBA season is way too long and too many ups and downs for us to make definitive statements on who people are. So, am I disappointed in RJ Barrett right now? Absolutely. Do I have the confidence
The
that he'll
ceiling is
rebound
higher,
and
but
bounce
no.
back?
No, chill.
Absolutely. So that's where I am with him. So if you think the book is written on RJ Barrett, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't think the book is written on him yet.
And also, can I say one thing about that, Sean? It's only been like 19 games. Like, that's not a lot of games to think about like a player. Like the book is not written on a player in like 19 games. Like, there needs to be like more games for us to see like closer to the trade deadline or like after the trade deadline to see what RJ got. Like you're saying right now, he's in his head right now, but he's gonna get out of this slump at some point.
Exactly. We as fans use sample sizes to our convenience to make our argument. When the team starts 8-4, it's like, oh look, they won 8 of 12. But when your team isn't good, it's like, well, hey, it's we haven't played enough games, right? So I think usually historically by Christmas, you know where your team is because teams rarely like go on a run or turn their seasons around. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it happens. So by Christmas, you will know basically where your team is. So that's why I'm not like going nuts over this. Like I'm frustrated that we lost, of course, but I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna go crazy over this.
See. Here's my thing, Sean. Right, when I look at the Knicks, right, I don't necessarily think that RJ's lost it because what my question is mainly with Randle, because I think after this season the Knicks have some questions to answer on what they want to do. Because to me, I'm not sure if Randle and RJ can keep playing together. But at the same time, I don't know what move you're going to make or what team is going to take on Julius Randle. And even at the same time, like, to win that, there's so many other things you're going to have to get back in return. Like, the future is confusing because we all knew this before any ball was played. Julius Randle is not a number one option. And it's kind of like what you said yesterday, right? Like, his emergence last season kind of threw like a monkey wrench into things, even though it was obviously a really good thing. Now it's like, who do you necessarily build around per se? And I think that what is really happening is I think the Knicks are banking on a superstar player coming or them getting one of those guys, and then in that case, then they would get rid of Randle. So to that, how do you feel about that, Sean?
So the beauty of the Knicks offseason, because I see people on Twitter talking about, oh, the offseason is a failure, it's terrible. It's like, no, the beauty of the Knicks offseason was, and the beauty of the Knicks offseason was to maintain their future flexibility while still maintaining a
he might not even be a third option. You mean third option on a championship team? I see why you would say that.
Let's say this team finishes.
The thing is, he can play like a one, but he's
39 and 43, right?
It's weird, bro.
They have all their picks.
I don't know.
They have a bunch of tradable contracts, including Julius, because his contract is averages like $27 million. So like they have the flexibility to do what they want. Because like I said, there was no player past offseason they could have signed that would have made them a championship contender. And also, so they're just trying to maintain their flexibility and wait for something to develop. Because that's all you can do. Because the last thing you want to do is the last thing we wanted to do is like, let's just sign all these people to these long-term deals and lock up the core of a 40-win team. Because that's how you get in trouble. So, but what happens to Julius? I don't know. Like, someone will trade for Julius Randle because he's a good basketball player. Honestly, I'm really just mad because Ja got hurt. This Memphis Atlanta game is not going to go over, and I'm very disappointed. That's my most disappointing thing today.
I'm disappointed in how bad Denver is. This team is really bad.
Yeah, they're not playing good.
They're playing right now.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I mean, Sean, what's Julius Randle's 3-point shooting percentage?
What is it right now? I think it's like 35%.
Okay.
And last year he shot 40. The biggest problem with Julius is that Julius from the mid range was shooting is shooting like 33% from mid range. Like the mid range, the 10 to 16 feet, those longer twos.
Right.
He's not
But
as the way
but
he did
Sean,
last year.
I was like, one of two things is going to happen. One is he's going to fall in love with that 3-point shot and take more threes and less middies. Or two, he's going to try to replicate the season that he had last season, and those 3-point shots are going to fall. The only reason why the Knicks got to the playoffs was because of that 3-point shooting percentage, which, as a Lakers fan, I told all of you that was not real. Not saying that Julius Randle can't be successful, but if you're banking on him to shoot 40% for 3 to get you to the playoffs, don't do it. So and like I said, the Knicks made some changes and everything like that. But I mean, I think they can still sneak it.
Lakers fans were so mad last year. So they was like, "Yo, watch, he ain't gonna keep this up. Watch, he's not gonna keep it. Watch, like it's okay. Y'all let the good player go off for nothing. It happens." But to your point, the Knicks knew. The Knicks knew that it wasn't sustainable. That's why they brought it. Like if they thought it was sustainable, they'd be like, "All right, we got our cornerstone. We're gonna build around him. We're gonna bring back Reggie, and we're gonna bring it." Like, no, we knew it wasn't sustainable. That's why we went out and improved the backcourt offensively, because it wasn't sustainable. We knew that.
Yeah, I mean, my thing too is I love Julius Randle. Like I said, like at the end of the day, he's one of the young Lakers. But I think we're too nice. Like Julius Randle is not a second. Like if Julius Randle is your second best player, not a championship contender. Like I don't know why people keep saying that. Julius Randle Julius Randle needs to be your third option for you to be a championship contender. I don't get why people who are we gonna who is coming to the Knicks? That unless it's
those
Joker
are two. You're asking
or
two different
LeBron
questions.
or Giannis
two different
or
questions.
Steph. I'm saying though, unless it's a top 5 player, I do not see one player that could just drop him on the Knicks and be like, oh, him and Randle, that's a championship. I don't see that. To me, Julius Randle is the third guy.
Well, I mean, to start, it'd probably be nice if they had like a really good point guard or just a decent point guard.
That wouldn't change much because of the way Julius Randle likes to play.
Randle, you a hater, bro.
I
love Jeff Green. To be honest,
I think really what it comes down to is that Julius Randle is who he is, and
exactly.
I don't really know if a good point guard would change how he's playing, because then what's Julius Randle doing off ball with a good point guard? I don't.
No, you're right. But I was just speaking more in terms of just how can the Knicks get
But
out
it would help his efficiency.
No, I just mean how could the Knicks get out of this perpetual state of just being either shitty or just barely getting into the playoffs? And I feel the difference could be
keep doing what they're doing right now.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Now now we have to shut down narratives and lazy narratives of that, Edward. I expect better from you. Where the Knicks are is light years ahead of where they've been, because the I told Cedric all the time, the old Knicks would have got Kemba not off a buyout.
Oh no, that's my guy. That's my dog. That's my dog.
We will trade you this.
I love Jeff Green,
trade
bro.
for Kemba Walker, a first round pick and some stuff.
That's my man,
and
bro.
be on the hook for his contract. That's what the old Knicks would have did. The old Knicks would have re-signed Marcus Morris to a long-term deal based on his outlier season. The old Knicks would have said, "It's okay, Julius. Don't pick up this extension. Just wait till next year, and then when you're eligible for a $40 million max." That's what the old Knicks would have done. The old Knicks have not done that. These Knicks have all of their flexibility. So that's why we as Knicks fans were real concerned about the effort.
No, but Sean,
I love, you know what I'm saying? I have, I love to make jokes about the Knicks and everything like that. But to say, Edward, that is a lazy take. And this is coming from
but what I was trying to say, I'm not saying so.
Not gonna lie,
I recognize.
Give me Brandon Ingram over Randle every single time. I ain't gonna hold you.
Is better than where you were the last 5 years. I'm talking about if you go back, if you include that.
I ain't gonna lie, Brandon is pretty clear to me.
You had
better
that
shooter,
one season when y'all
better
got to the playmaker,
round,
and then you had 2 more where
he's
you
less
lost
physical to Randle, but he's also more in control.
Your franchise for the last,
I think he can play make
out of this state
out of the pick and roll more naturally.
Just barely getting into the playoffs and then you're out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or we had the last 5 years, y'all were just shitty. And I was saying, could the change in like breaking that cycle would just be possibly getting a really good point guard. That's what I was saying.
No, the change is getting a superstar. What they need to do right now is they need to not rush anything, and they need to wait until there's a free agency where somebody who's actually really good says, "Hey, I want to go to New York."
But that's my thing. That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, that's why I was getting around to. But I was like, yo, to me, Julius Randle is your second piece. You're not winning a chip, especially when
You're
got
not winning
Giannis,
a chip with
especially when
that.
you
Yeah.
got the Warriors, especially when you got the Joker,
Well,
when
I
you
can
got
tell you
Bron.
that there's not going to be a whole lot of superstars that's going to want to come play with Julius Randle's play style.
But that also right, and that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm saying like if
yes,
like
I'll ask
at
the space in a minute.
best case scenario, if Julius Randle is in this championship team, quote unquote, he would have to be a third option. But to me, if there's one of the champions, Julius Randle isn't on that team. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see a superstar because again, a top 5 player. There's just no way that a top 5 player right now will come to the Knicks. Like we like no, not. They're not leaving where they are. Like all the top 5 players, Bron, whether you want to do Bron, Kawhi, Joker, Giannis, whoever you want to throw in there, you know what I'm saying? Those 5 guys are locked in where they're at. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Kawhi's not going anywhere, Bron's not going anywhere, Steph isn't going anywhere, Joker isn't going anywhere, and Giannis isn't going anywhere.
Also, we need to stop. We need to stop just saying like. I'm not saying LeBron's a bad player. I still think he's a really good player, top 5, like wherever you want to put him on your list. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is like we need to stop just throwing LeBron's name. Like the guy is what 37. Like it's like he's not going. If LeBron decide, okay, I'm gonna be free. If he were a free agent this summer, right? And he says, you know what, I'm gonna go to the Knicks. Like
I would throw up in my mouth.
Okay, no, like fine, right? But like you're only
now you want to come?
No, okay, no, Sean, listen to me. Like you're talking about just like a 3-year window max. Like the idea that you're gonna have. I'm saying like, do you want to try and build something where you could like sustain and be a good team for once for the next decade, or you just sacrifice it all for like a 2-year window?
There's no such thing as a sustain unless you draft.
Like that's why my point is right now they're in playoff contention, and like I believe that even with Julius Randle and stuff like that, like they can be in the East at least in that playoff contention, for a pretty decent amount of time. For me, what I'm saying is we're talking about if that team would be a championship team and take that next step. And for me, the only way, like we agreed, the only way for the Knicks to take that next step would be for a superstar to come to them. And for me, I'm saying I don't see. Again, obviously, I'd have to see the free agency, but I don't see a superstar that could just on this Knicks team specifically. Obviously, if things change, you never know. But on this Knicks team specifically, I don't see a superstar just walking in the door. For the Nets, for example, even before the Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they went to the playoffs beforehand. Right. So it wasn't like the Nets were just like the Nets had, and then the Nets had a really, really deep bench as well to the point where people were like, "Yo, I don't think they should get Harden. I think it should just be KD and Kyrie because this bench is really deep."
The reason they
the time for the Knicks to try and like get that player would have been last offseason.
No, it was what?
The thing was there wasn't one there.
Who was
the
player
last offseason?
No,
listen. No one even been talking. Just making sense.
Hold up, because like you guys just jumped on me. You didn't even finish what I was saying. What I was saying was the time would have been last season, but before you all just jumped on me, no one was available. So like what Felix just said, right? Like the Nets had the perfect storm. They had this team of young guys, relatively young guys that had just gotten to the playoffs, and they had all this cap space. And you had 2 superstar players that were free agents. I'm saying like that was the perfect storm.
Which is why the Knicks need to just stay on the path that they're on right now. There wasn't anybody last year. You just keep doing what you're doing. And you don't do something stupid like throw 30 million.
What kind of goes under the radar? What kind of goes under the radar? Yeah, what kind of goes under the radar is they have a lot of assets.
No. I'm saying, did they sign Fournier and Kemba and all those guys like a 1-year or 2-year deals?
Kemba is on a 2-year deal at $8 million a year, which means.
What about Fournier? Is he on a short?
Fournier is on a 4-year, $78 million deal. The 4th year is a team option. He's the only player signed past 2020.
Didn't you give Randle?
Yes, and Randle signed a 4-year extension. So the only players past 2023 are Randle and Fournier.
So you also illegally have to spend money in the free agency.
You have to legally spend money, but you have to spend like only a certain portion of the.
I want to give the room.
My bad.
Wait a minute. I want to give the room a different perspective here. I think the superstar thing is a valid thing to point to, but from my eyes, I would rather just have them build up and not exactly go for a known superstar, but go for young talented pair. Like I think they should be eyeing Brandon Ingram, right? Younger talents that have contracts coming up because they'll have the money to throw towards them, and then if they join the team, they'll be able to like gel and maybe create some type of culture, which after the fact could then maybe lure a actual superstar. Like I personally think right now,
Gifted.
Yes.
Gifted. This isn't lure another star or another young talent type of thing. The Knicks, first and foremost, the first thing that they need to do before they do anything else is address the point guard position. Once you address that, then you can move on to addressing other things. Because
Hey,
if you have no point guard, if you don't have a point guard, a good starting point guard, you're not going to do anything in this league.
Hey,
It's
what do
just,
you think? What
It's
do you
just
think?
proven.
What do you think about like them
That's true.
potentially trading for Fox?
I like Fox. I wish they could go after Fox, and I think they have the assets to do it. I mean, I wouldn't mind maybe even throwing throw a first round pick. I don't want to throw the house at him,
Well,
but if
you'd
you could
have
get
to.
him,
I mean,
You'd
what are
have
the
to do
assets though?
that.
You're gonna have
I
to
don't
go
think
in,
that's.
yeah.
I don't think. I don't think
I mean,
Fox is the law with it.
listen. If you find some type of manageable way to get him, I'll be all in. And now, if you got to throw the house, then okay, that's a different story. But like I
Sacramento
said,
is not
I
going
think
to.
they should have tried to trade for him this past offseason, like during the draft and stuff. Because like, didn't you guys have like 2 picks like in the 20s or something?
Okay, so here's the. Okay, let's play this out. We trade for De'Aaron Fox. That trade for De'Aaron Fox is probably going to be at minimum 2 firsts, 2 pick swaps, and 2 RJ, OB, quickly. The OB quickly and RJ. Now what?
Okay,
Now
well,
Well, now you have
let's.
RJ and Julius who don't fit together. You probably make an A seed, and yeah, then now you have no cap space,
and your assets are
and you
gone.
have no picks.
Okay, wait,
and
hold on.
but
What?
and you have no picks. And you
but
lost all
okay,
your
but
guys.
even
But
if
we
we
got a
don't do
point
that,
guard.
even
Wait,
if we
hold up.
don't do that, just try to find some other way to get a point guard. Maybe free
How? But
agents.
you guys, there's literally a superstar point guard that you guys know have interest in you right now. Like Damian Lillard has already stated that he likes the Knicks.
But there's got to be something. You know why? Because if you look at the Knicks list of point guards from 2010 to now, the list is absolutely disgusting.
It is disgusting.
The Knicks haven't had a good, really good starting point guard in so long, and that's one of the things that always seems to kill us. We can never get a real point guard that can start and play good basketball for
You
us. I
gotta
mean,
look at your rosters.
but still, when you got listen, when in like 10 years, when you say that Raymond Felton, a washed up, well, almost washed up Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd have been like your best point guards in like 10 years, that's a huge
All
problem.
right, bank guy. I understand the point guard PTSD. And you're exactly right. I understand.
Right.
But this is more than just all right. It doesn't like start. All right.
Well,
Well,
we
let's get a
break it
point
down
guard
in
first.
Knicks.
Like,
Okay.
no, that's not it.
Let's do it.
Here's what the Knicks are trying to do. The Knicks are patiently waiting for the next superstar to say, "I want out." That's what they're doing.
Which you should. I think that's a good idea. I feel like people don't realize if you look at how your guys' rosters have been constructed the last 10 years with Melo and Julius Randle now. One with Melo, your guys' cap situation didn't look very good. And the way Melo played basketball, there weren't a whole lot of guards that fit next to him. Chauncey, for what it's worth, and it didn't work out, was one of the few point guards that had an absolutely perfect fit next to him, and we saw it in Denver.
Yep.
And Julius Randle is another guy who I just don't see a lot of point guards that fit next to him because he's a power forward that needs the ball in his hands. So I just feel like it's a problem.
So I say this: if we had a point guard who could actually offer real playmaking, like getting to the rim, it would make everyone's lives easier. But because we don't have that, it's like, all right, we got to go back to this other shit that we have to do. So that's why I agree with Bank Guy. Like the problem is what we were like, because last year our point guard could get to the basket but couldn't finish and couldn't shoot. Now we have a point guard that can't get to the basket and is inconsistent from the outside. So and it's not playmaking. So it's like
yeah.
Sean, can you play point guard?
No.
Oh.
Knicks fans should be happy because at this point, like you already said, I think you guys should stay on the pace you're on right now. Don't do anything stupid like DeMar DeRozan, and just be happy you're not at the point where Knicks fans are looking forward to potentially signing Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul in the same offseason.
Hey, like you say don't do something stupid like DeMar DeRozan, but DeMar DeRozan is still
DeMar DeRozan was absolutely stupid. Absolutely, we're not. The franchise. It would have been an best.
So you know something? That's the perfect example because that team ain't winning the title and they have no more.
Imagine DeRozan and Julius Randle together. Like, what are they even doing?
That is so nasty. That is so nasty. Man.
I can see them taking that mid-range.
I understand your
that
point,
is
but you're
disgusting.
caught up on this idea that they're just going to keep Randle no matter what. Like, I think they should try and move Randle. Like
moving Randle to go going forward to Rosen would also be stupid.
No, look, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should specifically that they should have traded or moved Randle to try and make a team around DeRozan. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like they shouldn't be thinking of Julius Randle as like this franchise piece that's going to be one of their top 3 guys in their championship team. I'm saying Randle is just a holdover until they can try and formulate an actual contending roster. Like,
which is what he is.
Like at the first chance, they should try and move Randle. Like, I don't think they should be trying to make a trade to bring in a point guard while keeping Randle and make a competitive team. No, I think they're trying to move Randle to get something better.
And that's the problem right there. You said the first chance they get. No, the first chance they get will result in something dumb.
When I say first chance they get, Dylan, I don't mean literally whatever the first deal is. I mean
unless the player that you're talking about, because De'Aaron Fox doesn't make any sense. You trade 2 dudes who are similar caliber players.
Dylan, I'm not talking. I'm not actually saying De'Aaron Fox. I'm saying like if that. I don't know what player it would be, but if there was a player that was like a franchise-altering play, potentially franchise-altering player, you shouldn't try and think, okay, we're going to try and trade other things to put that guy with Randle. You should think, okay, we're going to move Randle to
DeMar DeRozan. Yo, you spitting.
I don't think
you spitting, bro.
Disagrees with you.
DeMar DeRozan is everything Randle wants to be.
You absolutely
spit.
Like for me, if you say like, well, they should like. The question is when people's like, "Oh, the Knicks should they should trade Randle." I was like, "Okay, you're right." For who? Who? I'm not saying that's you, Edward. I'm just saying that.
No,
right? The thing is that like if you bring said dude in,
so wait, is Julius Randle like a Monte Ellis, like a stepping stone for the next phase of Knicks basketball?
You know, wow,
yeah, sure.
Shit.
Oh wow.
Well, we don't have Steph on the roster right now, but. That's a good.
Dang.
That's
a good problem here is that the problem here with Julius Randle is that if you trade him for a superstar, you trade him for any guy like a top 15 dude, right? That top 15 dude for the next season would literally just be in the same position that Julius Randle's in, where hey, I need to get through this season so we can get to free agency. And there might be dudes who want to come play with me.
Yeah,
because
I don't want Randle on my team.
Unless you're like gonna pull off some deal where you get one guy and then another guy,
I can't
and now your team's formidable. You're gonna have to give up shit to get him.
Hey, I don't want to be
Which is why the game
move
didn't make sense to me because it's like.
But enough Knicks talk.
No. I'm just trying to think logically, and again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I can't think of why I would want Julius Randle on my basketball team. If I'm not like because
I don't want to. Never.
I don't think he can be a 2 or even a 3 low key because he needs the. I don't know, bro. It's so. I might be tripping.
It's like I know the fit.
After winning.
I know the fit was funky, but like if you think of him, like back of him when he was in New Orleans with AD, right? Like obviously he didn't have the same offensive skills, or at least he didn't show them off that he is now in New York. But like. It was just a weird fit. Like they just kind of used him as like a dunker and just.
I don't think he raised the ceiling of the team. I don't think Randle can raise the team ceiling per se. He can raise the floor probably. I don't look at him.
Well,
as
I mean, Well, I mean,
Yeah, no, he definitely
everyone
isn't a
thought we were going to
ceiling
win
raiser.
22 games last year. We won 41, so he could
No,
definitely
he's a floor raiser, but he's definitely not a ceiling raiser.
No, he limits your ceiling. Yeah, yes, you're right. Here's my concern.
Okay.
Because I do believe the Knicks are waiting for someone to hold out. I'm waiting for the superstar to say, "I want out." The only problem is I'm looking at the guys in the league, and there's only one
It's
guy
empty, man.
that can maybe pull this shit off. It's who?
It's empty right now.
Oh, there's
like
one
it's
guy,
not even...
and I don't want this guy. There's one guy, and I don't want him.
Is it Cat? Is it Cat?
Yes.
Oh my God, Sean. Wait, Sean.
Why?
Hang on. Everybody pause. Sean, do you realize what you just said? You say you don't want Cat. Bro, give me Cat over Julius Randle all fucking day. All day.
Hold on.
Wait. Okay, is that what you were saying, Sean?
That's two.
No. Sean's definitely right. Sean's absolutely right.
Like,
you rather have Julius Randle over Cat?
No, that's not the question. That's not the question.
Okay,
what?
Yes.
Yes, like that.
That's
bro.
what I thought you said.
He said
That's
yes
what I
like
thought
that.
you said, Sean.
I'm gonna let Sean
Wakanda J.
finish, but I can explain. I can explain why I would want Julius over Cat.
Okay, so here's the thing about Cat. I know y'all rate him more than I do. I'm like, okay. If we were to trade for Cat, we would be in the same. He would then be in the same situation. Okay, so now we have Cat and all these mid players with no flexibility, right? I might have to leave soon, but I'll take the Coles and like pick up yourself, Gifted. So the thing is, Cat creates a different set of problems that you have to solve. So if I can get Cat to walk into my cap space, yes, that's one thing. But if I have to trade for him, because when you have your assets, you get one shot. You get one shot at that trade. So if you trade your assets for a Cat, and now you're stuck with Cat, you probably get rid of Obi Toppin. You like and Alec Burks and like I'm not gonna say I would. I'm not even gonna answer the Julius Randle versus Cat thing because I don't think you're winning a title. Either of those dudes is the best player. But
I can agree.
The Cat thing is like the problem is like literally that's all there is, unless Fat Man wants to come across the river, and I don't even know if I want him either. So.
Y'all looking at the score?
Hey, real quick, I just want to make sure Adam knows. Adam, this is the locker room, so this is an open panel conversation. You guys can feel free to talk when you want to. Just keep it respectful and try not to have 4 or 5 people talking. Sean, here's my point, because I get your point, right? You're saying that once you give up your assets, you have to get it right. Here's what I'm saying. Even if we concede the fact that Cat cannot be a number 1, his play style can be a 2 because he's able to play off the ball. He can play make with the ball in his hands. He has a great ability to finish. But the bigger part is if you were to trade for him and you had Cat on the roster and it's New York, I feel like Cat could definitely lure other star players to play with him because of his play style, right? Like, he doesn't need to dominate the ball like a Randle does to be effective, meaning that if you traded for a Cat in the future, I could definitely see you building a team alongside Cat. I think that's realistic. I think star players would legitimately say, I want to play with Cat in New York over, I would say, Julius Randle.
So whatever move you make, it's kind of like, and I'm like 08 Boston, for example.
I
right
disagree with all of that because of Jimmy Butler. And if you watch the games with Anthony Edwards, like, they don't play for each other. Like, Anthony Edwards is not playing to get Cat off, and Cat is not playing to get Anthony Edwards off. And Cat just...
Pause.
No, I'm being real. Like, and that's, another team you see that issue with is Boston. Jalen does not play to help Jason's game.
I don't know what's happening, Tino.
And Jason does not play to make Jalen's game and his effort easier. The reason why Zach Levine can ball right now in Chicago is Lonzo is playing to get Zach off.
I understand what you're saying, but like that's like that I feel like that's more of like a management problem because like you're bringing in players who have more score first mentalities versus guys that are trying to be more playmakers, facilitators. Like Lonzo Ball, like that's who he is. Even going back to when he was at UCLA, he's a guy that's going to set the table, a guy that's going to run the offense and try and set other guys up. So like, of course, he would work well with Zach Levine, who's really more of a scorer. Like the idea that you're going to try and turn Ant into some type of playmaker or Cat into like some big type of playmaker, like that's just kind of weird. Like I don't think that's necessarily their fault as players, more of just like management's fault for trying or just only putting those types of players on the roster.
Okay, but what I am saying is Cat has had the chance to play with 3 world-class wings. He had a chance to play with Levine. He had the chance to play with Butler. He had the chance to play with Edwards, and he has yet to figure it out. And what I'm saying is Cat has the skill set to make plays from the high post. He just doesn't. So what that tells me is that for whatever reason, Cat really doesn't want to win. And that's fine because you have the same thing in Ben Simmons. Different stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna mute that. All right, I'm gonna mute that.
No, don't unmute it. Let Jay finish. Let Jay finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
But Jay, you just mentioned Zach Levine tore his ACL while he was playing with Cat when he was playing.
Let Jay finish, and then we can, and then you can rip him if you want. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I mean, look at it. Ben doesn't want to shoot. He's been coddled. It comes down to you don't want to win. Players come to the NBA and 95% of them have to change
Jay
what
tweaking.
they do
Jay
in order
tweaking
to
like
win.
shit. Jay
and there are a
tweaking
lot
like
of
shit.
players who decide, you know what, I'm an all-star, I got a big contract, I'm not going to change, and that's cool. But if you're talking about getting a chip,
Jay is tweaking, sir.
Randle has more quote-unquote dog in him than Cat does. So yeah, I'd rather
That
have
is
Randle.
true. He's more of a dog than Cat. I'll give
If
him.
he's a dog, how did he disappear in the playoffs?
That's a
So I'm
lazy.
not gonna lie to you.
JB, that's a lazy.
That's it. I'm gonna let
JB.
Sean take that.
JB, that's a
Sean
lazy
explain
take.
that to you.
That's a lazy.
That's not a lazy
all of that was slander. And hold on, I gifted. Hold on. All of that was slander. I'm gonna tell you why. So Jimmy came through. Jimmy came through. Cat was 22 years old, and they were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference before Jimmy got hurt.
No, I'm not jacking that.
They were balling. They would have, and they only lost in the playoffs because they ran into, what team was that? Was that the? Oh, that was 2018 Rockets that won 67 games. Oh, my bad.
65.
So Zach Levine breaks out. He's having his good year. He tears his ACL in Detroit. So he didn't get to play with the world-class wing. He played with an athletic guard who had yet to polish his game and then tore his ACL before he could even break out. And we mentioned Anthony Edwards as a world-class wing who is in his second year and is 20 years old. That is not a world-class ring. That is also a raw athlete. And to say they haven't done anything together yet is interesting, considering last year he was a 19-year-old rookie and Cat only played half the season. I don't know how we can say Cat doesn't want to win. His team is not good. His team has not been good for a long time. And whenever the team is good, he plays well. The past 3 years, a lot of people can say these things about Cat. Cat got hurt. Last year there was COVID and Cat got hurt again.
I'll be right back.
And this year he's playing amazing. It was not even a year ago where Cat shot like 45% from 3 and averaged 27 points per game. And those aren't just stats. That was him doing it. And to compare Cat to Julius Randle is fucking ridiculous. Julius Randle is an absolute... Okay, let me not say that. Julius Randle and Cat are not comparable as basketball players.
So, like, is this conversation because of the games today? Like, is that why we're having?
Also, but Cat does not make the Knicks any better either. But he's definitely better than Julius Randle. Like, they'd be in the same boat either way.
That's the
To go back to your original point, Sean, I agree. If you just traded Randle and like a bunch of young players and picks to get Cat, yeah, you're not gonna be better. But when you had all that cap space this offseason, dumped Randle and like your picks off and just absorbed Cat's contract, who knows? Maybe, I don't know.
Wait, hold on. So we
like coming off the year that Randle had. Would you agree?
So we declined it. We declined his team option, and we let him walk. and
No,
then
you pick up the team option.
So you pick up the
use
team
him in a
option at
trade.
21, and then
Yeah.
you say, "Hey, Minnesota, here's Julius Randle."
Okay, Sean, would you agree that Randle's value was as high as it ever was, probably ever will be, coming off of last season?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying you take Randle, who just had this amazing season, you pick up his option. Minnesota can try and extend him if they want you, whatever, right? You trade Randle to Minnesota plus all these picks, and throw in Toppin if you want to, and then absorb Cat's contract. You keep Quickly, you keep Barrett, and then you make something work. And you still have cap space over to sign another guy, maybe or whoever. If you want to still add Kemba, you want to still add Fournier, fine, whatever. I'm saying I think it would be a better team.
The problem, you're right. They could be a better team. The problem is when you say Julius Randle, Minnesota laughs and hangs up the phone. Now,
right? They're not.
Yeah.
You're not getting that trade.
They also just lose in the first round again, or they take the team to 7.
So that's why I'm like, well, when people are like, well, they should, what should they have done? And I'll say this: one thing I would not have done is if anyone comes in here and said the Knicks should have tanked this year, I will push you down a flight of steps.
No, tanking definitely isn't the wrong way to go.
It helped Grant out.
I just feel like if the Knicks were to just sign a bunch of guys 2 years. All right, so it's what we did in Philly, right? We just kept signing guys to 2-year contracts, giving out a big year deal like a JJ Redick or some shit for a 1-year deal, and just try and kind of build a team year by year through free agency. And then when the time comes to make a big trade, you make that trade. But just giving out a 4-year contract or whatever to Fournier, giving out an extension to Randle, I don't think those are the
But
smart
the thing
moves
about the
that you want
Philly
to make.
situation is that you guys drafted Joel Embiid. They haven't drafted anybody at all to the caliber of Joel Embiid. The thing is that when you draft somebody, that's your guy. You get him from the time he starts. So you got a young ass Embiid. The Knicks don't have anybody. RJ is definitely not Embiid. No offense to Sean or RJ.
I think we all agree on that. We all agree on that.
He's never gonna be Embiid.
Also,
and while they were tanking,
he'll never be Ben Simmons.
Also, it has to be a top 5 pick. It's not like a top half of the lottery.
The problem with the Knicks from that standpoint is that when they were drafting, they didn't draft very well. And then when I say very well, they didn't draft to they just didn't draft very well. They just didn't. All right.
Is RJ legitimately the best player, or RJ and Quickly legitimately the best players you've drafted in the last 6 years?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Unless we
whiffed on Frank. We whiffed on Frank when we should have took Donovan Mitchell, and we whiffed on Kevin Knox. If we didn't whiff on Knox, is the worst.
Do you think it's too soon to say that Toppin is a whiff?
No.
What? Toppin is not a whiff.
He's not a whiff. He is not a whiff.
Okay,
no.
So it's hold on.
I mean, he's not a great player, but he's not a whiff.
Go with me on this. The opportunity cost of taking Toppin over Halliburton is pretty big.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, Halliburton. Where has he been this year?
I mean, well, if you sign Evan Fournier and
where is Halliburton?
And Kemba Walker, that's basically taking the value that you would get out of Halliburton. It's the same shit. It's not like he changes the team.
NBA Twitter was jerking this dude off all last year, and this year he is nowhere to be found.
I just got to speak to what Jay was saying as far as the Cat not wanting to win. I was watching them today, and he was basically not being stopped. They literally only have him. They could not stop anything he was doing. It's just if you know that he's all they're doing, every time he goes to the rim, they're just going to knock him down on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
And it's also Anthony Edwards is 20 years old. You can't rely on him to be consistent every single night.
He's not a second option on the caliber of
Guys, real quick. Yeah, I just want your thoughts on what the Timberwolves fans were chanting at Jimmy Butler.
I was going.
Rachel Nichols.
Quite off topic.
That shit was fun. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I think it's kind of petty personally, but I can see why. I can see why they don't like Jimmy Butler, and to each his own. But I mean, I'm not going to participate in a Blake Griffin chant when Blake Griffin comes to Detroit. So
Sakaria is on show killer vibes. We are talking this. He's like, "Hey, I'd like to talk about what happened in Minnesota last night. Can we?" This is Big Bang movement.
So I'm looking at the people that went after Obi, right? And it was Denny, Jalen Smith, Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyra Lewis, Aaron Nesmith. That was the next 6 picks.
Ain't
so
no
there's really
stars.
no work there.
Yeah.
I'm taking Obi Toppin every
And
time. Yeah,
they
I'm not.
and
Yeah.
everybody's and
Plus,
everybody
like,
said that Obi Toppin was the
They
most
dead ass Shannon
NBA
Rachel
ready
Nichols facts.
guy. He was gonna come in right away.
Yeah, everybody said
But
that.
now
Yep.
it's like, oh, they should have took Halliburton. It's like you can't have it both ways.
well, in defense of the pick, like if you look at Julius Randle and Obi is actually a guy that would work well with Julius Randle. You know, if they have like some of those guys
I
like
gotta stop you
Mitch.
there. They play the same position.
They
Right,
don't
but what
work
I'm
really
saying
well.
is like
But
if
my thing is like,
he can
why should
come
the
off the
Knicks
bench
be
and just
thinking?
like play his position, like be that 6-man type.
Well, before anybody mentions why they took Obi, Julius Randle was not good his first year in New York. They did not. They did not. They thought they had nothing with Julius Randle.
He was
Like he was bad.
We drafted Obi as Julius'
terrible.
replacement, and I'll take that to
They
my
literally
grave.
were saying
That's
that.
a fact,
Nick
Sean.
Stans were saying they want him in now, but I went through Cedric's tweets so he can hide whatever the fuck he wants. That Julius Randle was the worst player in the NBA.
He was not the worst player. Stop.
That's what Sean.
Oh, you think that
you
he
tell
said
me
that?
you've never heard a Knicks
I
fan
believe
say
it.
it?
No, listen, dude. I would have drove you to the fucking airport last year. Like we all would have. Like if anyone says they wouldn't, it's big cap, right? The problem is, look, to be Julius's replacement, and then Julius Randle turned into Larry Bird, and then it's like, fuck.
Okay, all right.
We got this guy.
Okay, Sean.
When I say Larry Bird,
guys.
when I say Larry Bird, I say this facetiously because
Just
the only
say he
players in the
played
history
good.
of the
Just
league.
say he played good. We don't
No,
take
I'm gonna
credit.
say stop. The
I
only
like to
players in the
relitigate
history of the
Cat's
league
playoff series against the
hold
Rockets.
on, Jay, hold on a second. The only players in the history of the league to average 20, 10, and 5 on 40% shooting from 3 was Larry Bird and Julius Randle. So I say it facetiously. I'm sorry if that offends you. It's a joke. I don't really believe he's Larry Bird.
Oh dear.
But the point I'm trying to make is that because that happened,
Don't push
it
this
was
again,
like
bro.
it because that happened, because he had the season he had where he was an all-star and all NBA second team, and we have this dude behind him, it's like, fuck. Like that is ultimately one of the issues that we have.
Can I ask you a question?
Guys, let me give my thoughts on the Randall or Cat comparison. Fit-wise, if I have a good team and I want a guy that can fit my team and fit into any system, I'd pick Karl Anthony Towns
Every
because
single time.
that man can complement other superstars. He does not need the ball in his hands. At this point, Julius Randle has not proven to me that he can thrive off the ball, which is a better and much more efficient way to score. But he's still got years ahead of him. So
I don't think anyone here is debating that Randall's a better player. Well, maybe besides that one guy, but I don't think anyone else here is debating that Randall's a better player than Cat. I think the argument was just that Sean didn't want to trade for Cat because you'll end up being in the same place because you have to give a bunch of stuff. But I want to pose a question here: would you have traded Randall for Ingram straight up?
Bro, give me Ingram every single time. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Yes.
Give me Ingram every single
but
time.
that's
just making sure.
Ingram is clear, bro.
Now,
Ingram is clear.
Before we go anywhere, I want to say Ingram is clear because his team, whatever. Should we bring Bolu up here?
Okay, Bolu, don't be a show
So
killer.
Sean.
Yes.
So Sean, this is the thing though, right? You said that Obi can't play with Julius Randle, right? But to me, if you look at Julius Randle, he plays, to me, if he plays to the top of his potential on defense, he plays like he can play small ball 5. Like to me, when you put him at the 4 or whatever, like you play against forwards.
I'm sorry, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off, Thrash, but if I'm not allowed to talk about Ben Simmons' potential and he's in year 6, we can't talk about Randall potential. He's in year 8 or 9.
I'm not talking about potential either, because when he did that shit in LA, he was playing good on small ball 5, and when he was playing in New Orleans, he was playing good on defense.
All right, just checking.
Randall is small ball 5. Okay, so here's the thing: Randall and Obi,
yes,
together.
He's clear,
like
bro.
if Randall's your
He's
5.
Clear. There's your answer, by the way.
And that's why Tibbs has been hesitant to play them together, because if you play them together, then Obi's gonna be at the 5, and Obi's rim protection isn't the greatest. He isn't the best on defense and pick and roll. So that's why it's like they are a problem. That's why I say they don't mesh, because they basically play the same position. Bolu, what do you want?
Oh no. This is some real shit. This is some real shit. Didn't y'all draft? Correct me if I'm mistaken. Didn't y'all kind of draft OB as insurance if Randall left?
No,
Wasn't that
we drafted
to
him as
replace
a
him?
replace him.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I feel like, hey man, y'all trade Julius Randle to the highest bidder, man. But his value is incredibly low at this point with what he's doing. The roster construction, the free agency, what y'all did, I don't feel like y'all did anything to genuinely get better. Like grabbing Kemba at this
Bolu,
point
be
in the
quiet.
year was not. No, I'm not. I'm not hating. Like
No, I didn't say
I
you're
don't think he's
hating, but to
hating.
say that they
Yeah.
didn't do anything to get better.
Like, no, what I'm saying is the roster construction, bro. Did y'all really think that was gonna make y'all better in the playoffs or take y'all past where y'all was at?
Yes, because our starting point guard, people would ignore when he was on the perimeter. He would get to the basket and he couldn't finish, and our starting shooting guard couldn't dribble.
Fair
So
enough.
we
Fair
were
enough.
like,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't
we
think you
have.
guys
But
realize this, but one
look,
of their main issues last year was, actually it was the main issue was their offense and the inability to get consistency out of guys outside of Julius Randle. And that was what they were trying to fix basically in this offseason. And they did a good job. Like, you can't predict that, what is it called? Kemba Walker is going to be like very bad on defense, not going to make it up on offense. You
You
can't predict
can
that.
predict that. You
So
can
I think
definitely
You
predict
can't
that.
predict that
Cole Randall,
he's
chill,
gonna be
chill,
that
chill,
bad on
chill,
offense.
chill, chill.
But Sean,
Relax, my
so
bro.
why
Relax.
do you feel
Relax,
like
Tino.
why do you feel
That
like
ain't right.
Mitch can't play with y'all lineup?
I didn't say Mitch can't play at the lineup. I said Obi and Randall can't play
Well,
together.
no. That's but what I'm saying is, okay, so you said the issue would be with Randall would be rim protection, right? Playing him at the 5, but y'all have Mitch.
Yeah.
So what is the issue?
Mitch starts.
So my thing is, well, I don't know. Basically, I guess it gets to a question of like why y'all aren't playing good. So I guess it's more, you feel like it's more of an offensive issue than defense.
It's both. So it's that one, the defense is okay. We were willing to take a step back on defense because last year we were third in the league in defense, and this year we're middle of the pack. And I think the goal was like, okay, if they're still Tibbs will get them at a top 10 defense, and then they'll improve offensively. So the problem is the offense, where the defense is, the offense is not good enough. That's the problem. And if they were better defensively, this team would have 4 more wins easily. But they're not, because for some reason the effort on defense from the starters just isn't there, which fucking stinks because these motherfuckers haven't won a goddamn thing to be playing like that. I don't say this, Bolo. Guess what? My bet won. This game flew the fuck over.
That I had asked. I asked because I was looking at it. I was like, yo, we might mess around and get 140 on these fools.
So I looked up, and it was 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I had like 120. I was like, oh yeah, 115. I was like, oh yeah, this is in the bag.
Yeah.
Hey,
thanks for the money.
That was also,
when I first
Memphis was out there crying.
When I first got in here, I think Dylan had brought up someone brought up talking about the Denver Nuggets. I just want to ask real quick: what is it potentially a mistake that they gave Michael Porter that big contract?
No,
it was a mistake when they gave it to him.
Okay,
it was a mistake when they gave it to him.
I mean,
yes,
could it potentially?
Yes, it was.
I don't think so at all.
It was a mistake because they didn't have to give it to him this offseason. Just wait.
I mean, but the question is, could it be? And the answer is yes.
Literally, what they could have done was just literally let him test free agency and just match the offer.
I mean, because like you look at what the
But if he has another season like he did last year, then you basically took away the advantage that you got from signing him.
What advantage do you have? You can match
yes.
any single offer.
Because now if he doesn't hit his marks, then he gets a lot less.
I'll be back. The reason that Denver giving MPJ that contract is not the problem. The problem is that Jamal Murray's hurt and the roster fucking sucks.
No, I'm not saying that they're suffering because they gave him the contract. I'm
Well,
saying
I do
that
agree. Like it wasn't. I don't want to say it was a mistake because that's fucked up. The only reason it's going to be a mistake is because of his injuries. But yeah, the dude has nerve damage.
alluding to, because
The guy has nerve damage in his spine.
you paid all this money for a guy who he did have a really good season last year, but he had injury issues coming into the draft. He had to miss his whole rookie season. He had some
Well, he
stuff kind of
clearly
like
had
lingering
injury
in the
issues
second
coming
year
into
and
this
last
year.
year. And then now this
You
year, he
don't
potentially
you
might
don't
miss
get a
like a lot of
talent like
playing
Michael
time.
Porter Jr. at 13, 14. Like you just don't.
But
And
you do if he has back issues like he has.
you do,
Like,
but you take that chance at that. Like it's worth the
No, I'm
risk
not.
at
I'm
that
not saying
point.
that it was a mistake to take. Taking. Look. I wanted us to take Michael Porter Jr. at 10 for
Exactly.
Philly because fucking like if there was one team in that lottery I should have taken Michael Porter Jr. It was us because fucking we took Embiid. He had issues. We took Simmons. He had fucking issues. Like we should have taken Michael Porter Jr. It would have been a great pick. But what I'm trying to say is that like Sean said, like you gave the man a big extension when he had a good season. He also has a history of injuries, and he hasn't shown you that he consistently play and not be hurt. Now he was relatively injury free last season, but if he's gonna if this is potentially gonna be a problem for like later on in his career,
it's not potentially.
It might be kind of a mistake to give him a
The
massive
contract is potentially
a
big. He
mistake.
has to hit the escalators.
I was going to say the incentives are pretty generous.
But it's not like if he doesn't hit the incentives, his contract is like $5 million a year. Like the
he
problem
still
is
has like a 30 million something cap charge.
The problem is the flexibility that you have is gone, and he will be untradeable. And all you had to do was wait.
Like,
just wait.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you would know more because you're a Warriors fan. Wasn't part of the reason why they got Steph and Clay on such cheap contracts early on was because like there was some type of health injuries?
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Absolutely. It also helps the economics of the
what
league
I'm
at the
saying
time.
is like Michael Porter Jr. probably had a worse injury history than Steph did. Like, why not try and work something like a lower number out or something?
So
they did. It was the incentive.
Yes.
It's
So listen,
it's the
people gotta
NBA.
understand,
Like this isn't the same NBA anymore.
his contract is not the raw $203 million everybody thinks it is. I think it's really valued at like,
No, I know, but he still has like 140 guaranteed.
I believe so.
The contract maxed out at like 180 or something, but he's still getting 140.
Yeah.
Like regardless if he hits the bench.
Yeah, guys, what is the timetable on Jamal Murray's return?
I think it'll be back in February. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Is Jokic hurt?
Nah, he got COVID, I thought.
Because the Nuggets need somebody to help them since Nikola Jokic
I
is
know
out.
what they should do is they should soft tank and they call this year a wrap.
I ain't gonna lie, soft tank would be.
If Michael Porter's injury is as serious, if Michael Porter Jr.'s injury is as serious as it is, you need to replace him. And it is as serious as it is. I don't want to say it's a mistake because, but at the end of the day, he has nerve damage in his back. That shit's not going to go away, and it's definitely not going to get any better. And if it gets super serious,
I agree, Tino.
The league could let them off of that contract because of like the injury shit. But, yeah, that's a fucked up situation to be in.
The league won't. The league won't.
Is he going to play this year at all? Do you guys think he'll play this year at all?
If his injury ends his career, Sean, I think they would let him off.
Like he shouldn't. Like
the reason they didn't let Luol Deng off is because he was a Laker. So.
No, yes, okay. If he retires, then yes, that's one thing. But the funny thing is, they didn't even grant. No, but see, the thing is, I don't think they would because it's like you knew this dude had issues. Like for example, Chris, because they didn't even give the Heat. Didn't even give the league did not give the Heat an exception for Chris Bosh, and that literally came out of left field. No one saw that coming. Whereas this guy is like, you knew this dude had injury issues from day one. You knew this, and you gave him this money. Like, yeah, so he retires. Yes, he doesn't count on the books, but
I think they felt compelled to give MPJ that contract because SGA
If he's not on the books, then the money doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, it might have been a mistake, but at this point, in my opinion, we're arguing whether they pay him or don't pay him at all because he was going to get that money. So I view it as like he's getting paid no matter what.
You're either going to overpay for him or else he's going to walk. There's no in between.
And the way
there's no player that
this
doesn't
is
they
not
could have
relevant anymore.
Accepting a pay cut.
The bigger mistake is trading for Aaron Gordon and extending him while also extending MPJ in the same summer. Like they played the exact same position.
But
don't
wait,
know.
I
I
don't
think
think it's really
Aaron
that big of a mistake because
You could
when
still
you look
play
at
him.
it, they played very well when they had Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, MPJ, and Aaron Gordon on the
No,
court.
look, you're
Yeah,
missing
they
my
can
point.
play
Like,
together.
you're missing my point. I'm a guy that thinks that Michael Porter Jr. is fucking really good. I'm the guy that
Right.
Dylan was clowning me for saying that Michael Porter Jr. is a handle away from being Kevin Durant. Like, I think he's really fucking good.
Well, he's
The
never
point
going to
that I'm
handle it
making,
because of his back.
the point that I'm making,
I agree with that. I agree with that
the
too.
point that I'm making is that it's just like paying him that massive contract. And I know you want to talk about the incentives. He's getting 140 guaranteed. The incentives kick it up to 175, but he's getting 140. And that's why I asked Gifted about the Warriors situation with Steph, because they gave him like a super, super cheap contract.
But that's the league at the
I
time,
get
though.
where you're
Like,
coming from.
Couldn't
But that
when
was
you look
that
at it
was
from
I know what you're
two
saying
cap
about
spikes
the
ago, though.
cap
we're
spikes,
ignoring
right?
league economics
But
now.
like relative towards the cap, I don't know what it would be. Like
He-
like whatever Steph's percentage of the cap that he took up with his contract, couldn't they have just
I'll look
gotten
it up.
something
Steph
similar
was
to
getting.
that?
I
Steph
don't
got
think we
5 for
really
50.
realized
Steph got
how bad
11 million a
Steph
year.
fucking injury. I don't think we really know how bad Steph's injury was. Like, he
Yeah.
was literally going to get traded. Like,
Yeah, he's
they
gonna
had
get
to
traded
keep
to Milwaukee.
He was
they
literally
had
gonna
to
get
teach
traded.
him how to
Yeah.
walk again. Like, his injury was really bad.
Yeah, he was in a
And
really
but
bad
it's
I mean,
a
spot.
whole
Michael Porter
entire. It was
Jr.'s
a whole
injury is
entire.
really bad. What are you
No,
talking
no, no,
about?
no,
It
no,
was
no,
a
He played
whole
no,
like
entire
no.
26
different league
games for
Wait,
economics
Milwaukee.
at that
wait.
point.
I need everybody
So-
to wait. Edward, here's what you need to understand. Stephen Curry's injury is severe to the point where he had to relearn how to walk. But you also got to think of what position he played compared to what Michael Porter Jr. played and the market, okay? Denver needed to pay Michael Porter Jr. Could this be a mistake? Absolutely. But it needed to happen. Michael Porter Jr.
They
last
didn't have to pay
offseason.
him now, though.
Okay, but he showed no signs of lingering back problems at all. He didn't show any signs of that. He came into this season and then it became a problem. But outside of his draft day start and the rough start to his career, outside of that, he never showed any of that. He was very durable last season. He played a very efficient season of basketball. His play demanded that money on top of the market. So it made sense for them to pay him early because guess what? When you don't pay him early,
No, it didn't.
How did it not, Sean?
Because he would be going to restricted free agency. So if you want to keep him, someone's going to give him an offer. Someone gives him an offer, shows the offer sheet, and you match it.
No, listen, I'm not
It's
saying
funny,
it's
you
wrong.
look at
And let me finish. The thing is,
Okay.
here's the thing. Michael Porter Jr., they said this dude had, I think you're kind of downplaying his injury history. Like he had one good season, he had a good bubble and a good season last year. They said he had the worst medical they'd ever seen. Like,
It's really bad, yeah.
When you have back trouble and you're 18, guess what? It doesn't get any better. It doesn't. So for me, it's like, okay, guess what? I don't have to extend him right this second. So guess what? If I didn't extend him, and then this happens, right? He gets to restricted free agency, and some team will come in for him, but they're not going to give him the same deal, and then you just decide if you match it or not. If it's a deal that's like, okay, similar to the Steph deal, then it's like, okay, we're in a decent position. The only point I'm saying is that they didn't have to sign that contract this offseason. They could have waited because of restricted free agency. Like, he didn't have any.
But that's the point that I'm trying to directly contest, Sean. That point right there, because I get your point, right?
He's not playing, but he's not paying this year if you don't pay him.
In theory,
see the difference between Steph's contract.
Wait.
Let Giff finish.
In theory,
Let Giff
right,
finish.
Sean, you can do that. I'm not saying you can't, but the problem is what the gamble becomes is he's going to remember that, and you're straining the relationship. It's kind of similar to like the whole Phoenix DeAndre Ayton whole thing, right? Because Phoenix did the same thing, and if that doesn't pay out long term, it's not going to work out because easily when you strain that type of relationship, you're impacting his desire to want to stay with the team long term. That's the issue with that, Sean.
But the difference is not only that, but you mess up culture.
Right.
You can't Danny Ainge it.
Gifted, you have a point, but I think it's a little bit different because, like, long term for the Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton is like the second most important player for their franchise. Michael Porter Jr. is third, and like I kind of think what Sean's saying about like delaying the payment. I think of kind of what the Atlanta Hawks did with John Collins. John Collins was good in his third year. The Atlanta Hawks could have offered John Collins a big contract that season, but they didn't. They waited the next season. Now John Collins still got paid and still got a big number or whatever, but they didn't have to do it they didn't do it at that moment.
But that's not the thing. The reason why they didn't.
It was a gamble there, though.
They didn't offer John Collins because they wanted to get rid of him. They weren't going to bring him back for the playoffs.
Yeah, guys, real quick.
Is a gamble, but it's like what player has gone past their 30 without the extension, and then they ended up forcing a way out or leaving besides KP, but KP just hated the Knicks from the beginning.
Yeah, guys, real quick.
No one.
Speaking about John Collins, how are the Hawks struggling? Didn't they just make the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
Show killer.
So Edward, this is the thing.
Bro,
too.
Trae Young owned your franchise, sadly.
So Edward, this is the thing too, right? They can't. So you can't negotiate a contract with Aaron Gordon and then not pay Michael Porter.
Exactly.
And he just forgets that. You can't do that.
Here's the difference. You can when the player played 116 games in 3 seasons.
Sean.
That's the difference.
No, Sean is wrong because they're humans. They're not spreadsheets. If you Danny Ainge it, you end up with a locker room.
It's not about Danny Aingeing it.
For number one.
But on the flip side, I just keep like, all right, we need to be nice to you. Like, it's a balance. It's like, just because I'm saying I'm not going to extend you now doesn't mean I'm never going to extend you. But you played 116 games in 3 seasons. Your leverage is not as strong as you make it out to be, especially of you being a restricted free agent. Now they say, listen, we may take care of you and what have you, but look where they are now. Look where they are now. All they do is wait.
And where they are now is why Michael Porter
Don't
Jr.
teams have the level? Don't teams have like the team that is re-signing the player? Don't they have the ability to give him a 5-year extension as opposed to regular teams?
Bird rights. Yes.
Right.
The reason why Michael Porter Jr. pressured for the contract extension is pretty obvious. He has a back injury. He wanted to make sure that he got fucking paid to ensure his future. So if you tell him, hey, I'm not paying you until next year, I can't guarantee you that Michael Porter Jr. goes out there and play. I'm just going to be honest. When you
he has to.
Dylan, but the problem is he doesn't guarantee his money that
Ben
way.
Simmons is proving right now you don't have to do shit.
No, but Ben Simmons got paid
is a different
first.
case, dude. Come on, let's not pretend like Ben Simmons is a case that
Michael Porter Jr. is not playing.
He would be in the same position.
Bro, if you basically tell him, hey, I'm scared to pay you because of your injury history, and you're gonna have to prove it to me, then you're not walking out there.
I also wanted to.
Wait.
I'm being dead on.
You think Michael Porter Jr. could afford to say, okay, well, guess what? Yes, I know I have a fucked up back and I played 116 games 3 seasons, but I'm not going to play until you pay me.
Right.
He's like, what?
Yes.
No, I don't think it would be reasonable for him because that would actually diminish his stock.
You can keep saying stop. That's literally what he did.
He could definitely do that.
That's literally what he did.
He could definitely do that.
If you don't think that his agent and him walked in and asked for that contract because they know about his injury history, that's why he got paid this year instead of next year.
Before. No. I'm sorry, but pre this season, we've never suggested that before. No.
Because last year they didn't have Jamal Murray, and they were in a hole offensively, so they might have needed his services and would have been giving him a contract.
And then you're negotiating with Aaron Gordon, and then they're basically saying, okay, if you're not going to pay me, then
that's the part.
Go ahead and put Aaron Gordon out there.
All that money. Yeah, nah, bro. He's not gonna respond positively.
You go ahead and put Aaron Gordon out there with Jokic and with Jamal Murray on the bench and see what happens.
They gave Jermichael Green and Anthony $9 million and $10 million apiece, actually.
Now that you look at it, this makes the Aaron Gordon deal looks bad. Because when I look at it from a team perspective, the only reason I'm re-signing Aaron Gordon is the first 9 games with him playing and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic. They went on an 8-1.
It was great offense. It was
winning. Yeah. They went they had a record of 8-1, and that was pretty good. And he showed that he could fit very well in this Nugget system.
Other than that, I haven't seen many bright spots coming from Aaron Gordon.
I gotta say though, hold on. I mean, I think what we're forgetting here is Denver got shafted by these injuries. If Jokic, Murray, MPJ, Gordon are all on the floor together and healthy, they're a title contender. Hell, they could be the
Easily.
favorite coming out of the West if it wasn't for Golden
They
State.
were my
Facts.
favorite
That's a
coming out.
I
fact.
agree. I agree.
So my
Just a
point
fact.
is Denver made the plays that the front office should do. It's the injuries that are making it look bad. Gordon is a fine
Right.
fourth piece, but it's the fact Murray's out. Jokic now has a rough tummy ache, and MPJ has his back problems got worse. I mean, that's the thing. It's a setback. It's not like these are the same problems. Nerve damage was something that happened 2-3 years ago, and he was doing well and suppressing it. This is a new heading that we're dealing with here. So I think that's something we're not considering. Gordon's contract looks worse because it looks like $20 million for a team not contending. The problem is that could have been any other of Jamal Murray, MPJ as well, if Jokic is not 100% and they don't have the same depth because they invested in a championship window. That's the problem. But it's really not Denver's front office's fault. They invested in a championship window as they should. They did the right things that small market teams need to do.
Yep.
Lock up the assets they have and invest. And right now injuries are shafting them.
Hey.
Otherwise, they did everything they should have done.
I'm gonna quickly respond real quick.
Facts.
All right. Here's my thing, Derek. Right. I agree with 100% of what you said, and for that reason, I can't fault them because let's say we do everything that Sean said. Right. You wait on it. You pay Aaron Gordon. You don't pay Michael Porter Jr. Right. If Michael Porter Jr. does not get injured,
Right,
and they play through the entire season, to me that team's chemistry is not gonna sit right. They're not going to be playing the same way we would expect them to. And in a way, you're kind of lessening the title window that you had in this season. Because remember, in this season, Kawhi Leonard is hurt, right? So from their perspective, you want to maximize that. Yeah, so
Bro,
like,
what the fuck was that?
from that perspective,
Yeah.
so from that perspective, you want to make sure that you maximize that current title window. And I'm just saying, in the West right now, with everything that's going on, you got to make sure that you handle that. So that's why, Derek, I don't really.
I think
Who the hell buried their microphone with that laughter?
I think where we disagree is this whole like MPJ isn't gonna try until he gets his money. Like I think we just agree to disagree. It's like, he's not gonna play as well. Because on the flip side, I can say, well, it's a contract year. Because you can be like, like for example, DeAndre
I don't know
Ayton,
what the fuck that was, Tino. I tried to talk through it though.
And look,
I keep them quick. I
don't hear any
I ain't giving no energy.
Culture
We kept going.
Issues at Phoenix. Like I'm not riding on this whole. He's not gonna try hard until he gets his money.
Doesn't have a career-threatening problem.
But that's my point. That's why when you guys are like, well, they have to pay him. Like, no, I don't, dude. You played an average of 40 games a year for 3 years.
I understand the hypothetical that you were presenting, Dylan, about, he's going to not feel wanted or whatever, and then he's just not going to try and get the new contract or whatever. But I just want to know,
it's not that I don't think he's going to feel wanted.
Hold on. What's the precedent for that? Like, where's the previous guy that didn't get the extension after year 3 that was as good as Michael Porter, and then just kind of just mailed it in the next season?
Someone named me the previous guy that had nerve damage in their back before they.
I didn't get that shit. No fucking energy. You seen that? I didn't get that shit. No energy.
Well, you know something? I know somebody who tried to pull that shit. Who asked for a max on a torn ACL, and the other team was like, and he said, well, I'm going to sign a qualifying offer. Ha, 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 ha. And the team's like, I have a better idea. We'll trade your ass to Dallas. And now we all make fun of that motherfucker every single day. So MPJ can fuck around and find out if he wants to.
Sam, completely off topic, but fucking Sam Howell's getting it done right now. Continue.
Yeah, this game's fucking boring. I just want to watch the Gonzaga game.
I do want to ask something that was at the title of this space prior, the Cat v. Randle situation. Which, I mean, great job, guys. What a bait title.
You see me out here.
Thank you.
I want to say, yeah, hey, we doing everything we gotta do, right? I got a pretty wild take. At least I think it's wild. Maybe it won't be met with the Heat.
But if we get to the trade deadline and Minnesota is still hovering around 500 as they are right now, are we considering cat trades?
No,
because I am.
No, I don't. I think cat trades are completely off the table for this year.
You're not going to get the value for him.
No,
Minnesota's not trading Cat this year. They're not, unless he says.
Minnesota knows. I think Cat knows.
I'm familiar with Sachin Gupta and how he operates. He's not going to trade Cat unless Cat specifically asks for a trade.
I agree.
Oh, but it's not about one. I'm saying, are we listening? Are we listening to deals? Because I'm listening. I mean, granted,
you should always listen. You should do your due diligence anytime that someone calls. But
if I'm Minnesota, there's not a single player or package available right now that I care about personally.
KP for Cat.
Derek, when you say we, who's we? Like as in Minnesota? Should they listen?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm putting personification over Minnesota.
Okay. If you called me and said I would offer you Giannis, like other than that, I'd be like, who am I answering? Like who? If the Knicks call me, why am I answering the phone?
Derek,
I'm not even answering the phone.
Derek, I think Toronto would actually be a good trade partner if a Cat deal would ever go down. They have a huge need at center, and they have lots of parts that don't fit, and they have all of their picks as well.
Right. I'm reading the landscape, and I'm questioning
have a lot of assets.
Minnesota's ceiling.
I think I don't think you're going to see Cat moves or anything like that, even Cat trade talks until the draft.
My bad.
Right.
Because the thing about the Timberwolves right now is that like Edwards, I don't know if I want to say he's better than D'Lo right now, but he's playing like it, and
I think he's.
But they also
he's better. He's better than D'Lo.
I think
he's
better.
I'm not saying that, but
yeah.
I'm not saying that.
I think D'Lo is plateaued, and the injuries just don't help his case.
But also factoring in Anthony Edwards' age, like this is his second year in the league. Like when you look at it, it's fair to say. And also my fault. My phone was like on 2%.
I don't know, but I think we're doing semantics right now. I'm going to get to my point. You can think he's whatever, but they know that since he's 20 years old, he's not going to be consistent every single night. And I don't think Cat's going to expect the 20-year-old Anthony Edwards to show up and average 27 and be the second best player on every single night. So I mean,
but I think this year has to be like an evaluation season for Minnesota. Like they have to look deep into who they want to keep, who they think is going to be a complementary player moving forward, who's going to be their guy, whether it's Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns. I think they really need to do some evaluation right there.
Well, no, I don't.
They can't move D'Lo. Then Cat's going to want out immediately.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Like
D'Lo was the one that wanted D'Lo.
Yeah, Cat wanted D'Lo.
When it comes to Minnesota, I really feel like if they were to get, like how we talked about the Knicks, right? And again, I missed a portion of the conversation, so this may have already been said. But like how we talked about the Knicks, where we were saying like, yo, if we were to just take like a guy and just drop him on the Knicks, like that wouldn't necessarily make the Knicks championship contender. For me, Anthony Edwards is playing and seeing, obviously I've watched Cat, and Cat, does a lot of things that I like. For me, man, like if they were to get a top 10 guy, I'm not saying possibly, but like if they were to get like a top 10 guy somehow, some way, I think that would really put them in like the contender category. Like I look at this team and look at the time that these guys have with Cat, with Edwards, and I get it, D'Lo's kind of plateaued and stuff like that, but they're not that far off. At least to me, when I look at other teams in the league, like you look at the Pelicans, you look at other teams in the league, it's like they got a long way to go. To me, the Timberwolves aren't that far away.
There's no package for that.
They would just need to get a guy, and obviously that's really hard to do because who's going to Minnesota?
I mean, they just need to improve their bench. Like
they already got their big three, which is kind of the hardest thing for a team to actually get. But they have like virtually nothing around that.
What big three?
Counting D'Lo in there?
Cat, Edwards,
he's putting D'Lo in the big three. But I mean, if you look at them offensively, then they could be a really good, potent offensive team. And then when you add in Jaden McDaniels and Vanderbilt or whatever, defensively, they just need some guys off the bench. Like that's really all they need for real. And then let those young
but the
guys
season they did start off good defensively.
Both teams have weak benches.
Their problem was kind of offense, if I'm not wrong.
They should have took Cam Reddish instead of Jarrett Culver. That's a fucking problem.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's
if they
either
had
here
a
or
guy
there.
like that, if they had a guy like
If they
Cam Reddish,
had
like you
Cam
said,
Reddish,
Should have
I think
taken
like
Tyler Hero over Jared Culver.
yeah, I mean, any one of those guys coming off the bench on that team makes them, to me, a serious playoff contender. You know, but I
I
mean,
have our next topic when we're ready. Go ahead, Thrash. Finish.
but I mean, you know, if you look at it like this, okay, they could look at it two ways, like Dylan said. If you have these young guys, Anthony Edwards, you know, these young guys or whatever, and they go through this year, and let's say they don't make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, the pick that they get, you know, they could either get one of those type of guys with that position at that position, like a guy that could score off the bench, or they could trade for a guy, you know what I'm saying, that fills those needs, and those young players will be a whole nother year better for next year. So I mean, I just don't see like the incentive to make a move.
I think that Cat has been honest with himself and the team, and none of them think that the 20-year-old Anthony Edwards is going to be consistent enough every single night for them to be a competitive team come playoff time. Cat knows that. If Cat doesn't know that, then he needs to really look himself in the mirror and think about logic, because the 20-year-old
considering
But Dylan, that's my question though, Dylan. Right? So like, and I get it. I get what you're saying. And I think if Cat were to want to leave or were to want to ask out, I don't necessarily know his contract situation. But if Cat were able to leave, I could see him doing that. My thing is where
that's the problem. Every single time someone wants out, I know exactly. Like, it was pretty obvious when James Harden wanted out. I said the Nets, they clearly have the best package. He's going to go to Brooklyn, and he went to Brooklyn. Like, when AD wanted out, it was pretty obvious who had the best package. Like, I just don't see a package that's a win-win right now.
That's
I'd say the Knicks and the Raptors could probably put a competitive package together.
But the Knicks, that's not a win-win.
For Karl Anthony Towns, if the Knicks or the Raptors call me, I'm not answering.
What about the
Suns?
If the Raptors call me, I'll definitely pick
The
them.
Raptors call you answer. If the Knicks, I'm not answering. I'm not answering.
Hold on.
I'm
actually blocking.
What about the Suns? What about the Suns?
Let's not sit here and act like Masai Ujiri is not extremely stingy when it comes to his players, guys. Come on now. Like guys. Y'all make it seem like, all the rappers are gonna just give everything they have. Like, come on. Masai Ujiri is extremely stingy with the what's on the trade.
But what about the Suns though? They're already in this contract thing with DeAndre Ayton. For whatever reason, they haven't paid him.
Yeah, I'd pick up come the off season, but I'm not like. I always talk about the Suns deal, but I'm not doing it. Like, DeAndre Ayton isn't a win. If Karl Anthony Towns, and I'm talking about from a viewpoint of I as a franchise am giving up on Towns and I want to trade them. If Towns says, "Yo, I want out," I'm looking at that Suns deal because DeAndre Ayton is a franchise center, and that's probably really good value. But in terms of from a management standpoint and saying,
so if you were Phoenix, you wouldn't do that deal.
If I was Phoenix, I'm doing it. But I'm saying from Minnesota's point of view, there is not a single trade in the league right now where they say, you know what, I think it's time for us to move on from Karl Anthony Towns. If Towns was to ask out,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, what if Towns after the season's like, you know what, I'm just frustrated.
If Towns asks out, I'm trading to Phoenix.
Yeah, but Dylan, to be fair, if they're moving off Towns, then they're going into rebuild and building around Edwards.
I mean, maybe, but not really. It depends on what you get.
Like, I think like when people think of rebuilds, I feel like a lot of times they just kind of think of, okay, we're just going to chuck away all of our good players.
You see
just get a bunch of young
you
guys.
You see the tech, my man.
Like, I think you can rebuild with a
By the way,
really
I'm figuring out the button shit
center
after this
DeAndre
episode
Ayton.
is over. This
You just
weekend
have
I'm
to put
getting
the right pieces
all
in.
together.
I mean, Edward, the term is
Welcome to the
retool,
stream.
right? That's the term we're not using. It's a retool, not a rebuild.
I just had one of our listeners just tag me in this, and I think I don't know how it happened, but I think Charlotte does need a big. He said he added me and he said Cat to the Hornets. Charlotte does need a big. For a while. I out on God's green earth that
I don't know what value you're gonna give,
but I mean.
They do have assets. James Bouknight, Kai Jones.
Bridges. That's
James
Scary Terry.
Hold on. Did someone just say Bouknight and Kai Jones?
Yeah,
for
nah,
Cat?
fuck no, absolutely not.
No.
Let's
Well,
go.
I'm saying they got picks though, don't they?
Hornets leave it on the table.
Yeah,
The
it's not
Hornets
even on
got
the
picks
table.
though, don't they?
They do.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they
like,
have their
I
own.
mean,
They
I
don't
don't
have
think Towns. I don't think Towns
No, the
really is
Hornets
an
got picks
option.
out the ass. The Hornets
I'm
got
not
picks
gonna
out
lie
the
to you.
ass.
I'm
But I'm
not gonna lie
saying,
to
like,
you. I'm
for
not gonna lie to
me,
y'all though.
like,
There's
whatever.
one team I could think of, but the problem is I think the move is actually lateral. Like the team I would think of would be Boston, but the move is extremely lateral because they both have ass benches. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have like really good assets. So it's like, okay, you do it, but does that really make you like a significantly better team long term? No.
Well, Boston was a trade I was talking about for Cat 3 years ago, and now it just doesn't make sense. Like it just
Exactly.
doesn't do anything.
Yep.
I'd like to slander. I like to slander Brandon Ingram now because I think he's just good enough for you to lose.
Damn, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm
You
cool.
better
Oh
than
yeah, but
Julius
he's not
Randle.
the best player
high
in the
on
league.
Brandon.
Like Julius Randle.
Not saying that's not,
Brandon
actually
Ingram. Brandon Ingram doesn't
actually
have a team
if
around him. He has a
if
bunch of just
Brandon Ingram
random
was
ass fucking pieces on his
if
squad. What are
you
we talking about here?
if you swapped Brandon Ingram for Julius Randle last
They
year,
would
the
be a
Knicks
better
win.
team.
The Knicks
It
would have won
would be
19
they would be a
games.
bottom. They would be a bottom
The
4,
Knicks would
5
have been
team in the league.
the 5 worst teams in the league. Get the
Yeah,
fuck out of here, Brandon Ingram.
Damn,
easy.
Sean. Where all this
Please.
where all this Brandon Ingram hate come from? Damn.
No, because earlier it was like, yo, I
Honestly,
would
I'm
take
with you, Sean. I'm with
because
you.
y'all was like, oh, Julius for Brandon Ingram, I'll do that
I
in a
think Brandon
heartbeat. I'm
Ingram is
like,
clear
fuck this
right now.
What
motherfucker
is
haven't
what
done
is
this
I
Ingram
twice.
do.
proven? Ingram hasn't
Why is he
proven.
clear?
No,
Why is he
no,
clear?
He's been
clear.
clear
He's not clear.
their whole careers. What are we talking about
No,
here?
he
What's
hasn't. You're smoking
Not
Brandon.
their
Oh,
whole
what's he
careers.
done?
Not their whole
What
careers.
has he
No.
Okay.
done?
No. Not their whole careers.
No.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, hey,
Let's
He's a better
stop that,
scorer.
Cap. Let's stop
hey,
that, Cap.
He's a better
hey,
scorer. What else?
If
hey,
Play
he
makes
were,
better.
whoa,
if
whoa.
he were, if
If we're talking about
had him,
value
Play
of a
makes
ball
better
wait,
than
player,
Julius
playmaking.
Randle.
Randall.
if we're talking
All
about
right, listen,
value
listen,
as a
listen,
young
listen,
player,
listen, listen. We got 6 people talking. Can we just calm down and have this
You
conversation?
We're
can't
smoking
mute me,
fucking dick right
motherfucker.
now.
You can't mute me, motherfucker. We need
I'm
playmaking.
not trying to mute
Julius
you,
Randle
Sean.
has
I'm not
averaged
trying
like
to mute you.
6. I know. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
Julius
The
Randle
thing,
is absolutely clear of Brandon Ingram as a floor raiser, and that's been made pretty obvious thus
that is
far.
clear.
Brandon Ingram's yet to prove otherwise. Now, if you want to argue them as players, sure, go ahead. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'd agree, but to argue that Ingram would make that roster better is fucking ridiculous.
No,
and
I'm
this
not
is where
saying
the whole
right. So
if you're a better floor raiser, you're a better thing. People get tight about. But the Knicks with Brandon Ingram as their lead guy would be fucking
so
dog shit.
listen,
They'd
I
suck.
We
want to
would
be
have been
clear.
11
I
and
want to be
71.
okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Everybody, calm down.
Both of these
I,
players.
I just want to explain what I'm saying real quick before everybody gets on my ass. I agree. Julius Randle is a better floor raiser.
Pause.
But what I am looking at is specifically when you look at the future, if you had to think of a guy whose game could blend in better with other players, I think Brandon Ingram's game could translate better than Julius Randle's game as far as
Yeah,
fitting in with others in the future.
but your other players aren't good.
No,
Your other players aren't good,
right
so it doesn't
now
really mean
other
much.
players aren't
Yeah,
good,
so,
but it's
okay.
New York City. That's my point, Dylan.
so the
Oh,
question was,
LA.
would you take Bi for Julius Randle straight up in a
It
trade?
can't be straight up.
And there's a difference between
Fuck
being
no.
there's a difference between being a better player and having more value in a trade.
I agree.
And when you look at them, at the entire length of Brandon Ingram's career up to this point versus Julius Randle's career, Brandon Ingram has more value because of his potential as a fully maxed out player. I mean, he's been playing on ass rosters, but if you put him on a roster that could maximize what he does, then his ceiling is much higher than Julius Randle.
You could say that for like 55 players, dude. Like,
can I speak? Can I?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just
Sure.
want to say something real quick. I mean, again, my team did draft both of So for me, why you guys grow up? Because it's like, I mean, damn, like you would think you would ask the Lakers fan, hey, the 2 guys that you guys drafted, what do you think? As a floor, to me, Brandon Ingram's game is predicated around like him, and that's not a bad thing. But like Brandon Ingram's gonna need a lot of touches, gonna need the ball in his hands a lot. He can get active, he can get busy, but he's gonna get busy by taking the shots and being aggressive, getting in the flow of the game, and having the ball in his hand, or having someone get the ball in his hands. That's why they tried to have Lonzo. What I'm saying? Cool. If we're comparing like taking Brandon Ingram and dropping him on the Knicks, I absolutely would not do that. I think that I would rather build a team around Brandon Ingram than Julius Randle. But like, again, even that's debatable because to me, it's not that big of a difference. Like, if I were to build a team around Julius Randle, now to build a team around, Brandon Ingram, one might get to the second one of the playoffs and one might get to the first one of the playoffs. But like, there's not that big of a difference between the two. So, but like, just to take, Brandon Ingram's play style and drop it on the Knicks, no. No. So like, that's what I
but that's
The
not what I'm
Pels are
trying to do.
4-16. I don't want to hear about Brandon Ingram anymore.
Wait.
Look at who he's got on the team, though. What are we talking about?
Wait a minute.
Ingram is out. Just so we're clear.
I just want to be clear about this. Again, you're not building a team around Brandon Ingram or Julius Randle. That's not my point. The question is, who of those two players can you see fitting in as a second or third option more? I think Brandon Ingram's game is more translatable simply because he can actually be an off-ball player, and to me, he's a more natural on-ball creator for guys.
That's
Can I say
the
something? Can I
He's
say
not
something?
off-ball.
Can I
I
say
don't know.
Sure, Cedric.
Can I
Yes,
say
Cedric.
something?
Sure.
Here's the issue, right? When we're
Okay.
talking about Brandon Ingram, when we're talking about Julius Randle, we're talking about second and third options who are playing on teams where they're the first option. I get with Brandon. Brandon, he has to deal with Zion, but like, so these guys are actually, it's a disservice to them because the little bit of success that they're finding, Brandon making it to the All-Star and also Julius, they now think like that they are a first option. They've lost real like sense of what the fuck is really happening in this league. Right. So when you talk about building with them, these are guys who don't know that they're third options. Like they think like, oh no, I'm hot, I'm nice, I made the All-Star, I'm a first option, and they're not. So it's like when you talk about building around them, what you also have to be thinking about is mentally, how do I get this guy to buy in? So the real question is, which one of these dudes can you get to buy in? And I don't know the answer to that question.
I know the answer to that, Cedric.
I was talking to. Go ahead. I'll defer my time to you.
Hey, listen, Cedric. I love what you said because everything you said is 100% spot on, and that is the exact lens I'm looking at it from. I think Brandon Ingram is a guy that could buy in quicker simply because having Zion on his team, Zion towards the end of the season was the clear number one option. He was getting the majority of those touches, and he had to find a way to coexist around him. With Julius Randle, there is no guy on the Knicks, even with all the conversations we've had this year, there is no conversation. Julius Randle is their number one, win or lose, do or die, no matter how people feel about it.
Yeah, guys, let me give a quick thought on this. I'd prefer Ingram because I usually prefer complementary guys that can complement other players, guys that can play off the ball, and Ingram is that. And I was just looking at like the New York Knicks advanced stats. They rank 21st in passes made. I'm not saying that Ingram is going to improve that and he's going to be a better passer, but that just shows like there's more enforcement by somebody on the offense. And Brandon Ingram's not going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's just like a catch and shoot player. Maybe
Whoa. He's a catch and shoot. What? Please. Yo.
What? Bro,
See,
what? Gifted, clip that. Clip that
What
right
did he say?
No.
Brandon Ingram.
Who actually said that?
Brandon,
He said.
I kind of
I think
messed
he
up right
means
there.
like more like. I think he means like more
Zachariah?
like kill the
Zachariah?
offense and try to score.
Is it
Like,
Zachariah?
No,
like
I wasn't.
Zachariah.
No, Zachariah. How do you
Yeah,
pronounce your name?
Zachariah.
Oh, sorry.
Zachariah? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to pronounce, because I got to pronounce your name right when I tell you, you got to get the fuck out of here with the bullshit, bro. Zachariah, you got to stop.
Wait, did he say that Brandon Ingram was a catch and shoot player, or
Yes.
that
He did. Yes.
Wait.
He said that Brandon Ingram was a catch and shoot player.
This is fucking wild.
I think he just means like a scorer.
Let me rephrase that. He's a more efficient scorer.
Yeah, like he means like a scoring type of player. Like, he's not like a
I meant like a KD
distributor.
type of player, like a guy that's not enforcing his will, is playing off the ball, playing off of other players. That's what I meant. Not
He's
like
like playing in the flow of the game.
Okay, like
But he's not even that much.
He doesn't literally mean that Brandon Ingram is a catch and shoot player. He just means that Brandon Ingram can work in some catch and shoot situations. He doesn't mean that all the time.
He's talking about the ball domination aspect versus Julius Randle. Like Julius Randle's going to dominate the ball versus Brandon Ingram can play without dominating the ball, but still
like
It's like
attack
what,
scoring.
18? Okay.
Well, if we're talking
Yeah, that's
about
what I meant. I didn't mean like he's
This is
like a
wild, bro.
specifically a catch and shoot player, but he does dominate off the ball most
Both
of
of
the time
those,
when I watch Pelicans games.
but the reason why he's off the ball is because he plays with Zion. And honestly, when he's playing with Zion, if you don't have the ball, he's just like standing around.
Which is
So
a
I mean,
fact.
No,
but
that's
Thank you,
actually true.
Sean.
That's
even
actually true.
now,
My
but
bad.
now
That's a
even when they
fact.
don't have Zion, he's still playing the same way. Like he's not just dominating the ball.
That's
He was
my
then
playing
why
kind
the
of
that's
hell
my
ass
only point.
before he got hurt, before he got injured.
Brandon Ingram is if he's just good enough for you to lose, which
I,
is
I
fine.
I personally feel like because of Ingram's shooting ability, you can fit him with like some other like ball dominant players, and he can still work off the ball.
Right. That's
You know
the
what?
I'm not saying
You
that
know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not
That is
saying
fair.
that's
that
the point he's
Ingram's like
making.
some amazing
That's the
off
only
ball
point I'm
player
making,
like
Sean.
80 or whatever, but I'm saying that
no, my only
yeah.
disagreement
Yeah,
this
that's
whole
where
entire
that's
time
where I
was
was trying to go to.
to drop Ingram on the Knicks and they'd be better because they wouldn't
I'm
have
not
AD,
saying that shit
JD
at
and
all.
us.
No,
They'd
no,
be
no, no,
worse.
no, no. But listen, Sean. Listen, Sean. I'm so happy you said that. This is my point. When you get Brandon Ingram, your team is not going to be better in that first year, right? What my point is, having Ingram on the roster when you suck, first off, you're going to be able to get more assets. If you're able to get a star player, they can play alongside Ingram because his game is more portable to me than Julius Randle's game. To me, it's about the long-term play. That's all I'm saying. And I know for a fact.
So for me,
Sure.
go ahead, Gifted.
No,
Finish.
no, no,
No, go
no,
ahead. Finish, Gifted.
no. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like ultimately like okay, is he slightly more efficient? Yes. Is he a better shooter? I would agree. I would agree with that. Absolutely. Ultimately, both of them motherfuckers need the ball in their hand. So when you bring in Brandon Ingram, yes, we all agree, if you bring in Brandon Ingram, if in a hypothetical, we traded them for each other straight up, this year they're going to stink. But obviously, that's not like the end goal. But who am I? Like, I still will
Okay.
have similar issues. I may not have the exact same issues, but I will have similar issues with Brandon. It's like because Brandon's not gonna be my guy. If I bring in someone better than him, and Brandon's not the guy, does he know he's not the guy? To Cedric's point, it's like, yeah, you're a third option, but you don't think you are because it's how you play. So that's why for me, it's like I just think that like a lot of Knicks fans are talking about let's bring in Brandon Ingram. I'm like, dog, this doesn't solve the problem.
Just
It
want to
doesn't.
say that the Celtics are frauds.
Let's
Yeah,
say it
no,
go
to
before.
like
Let's say it
At
go
the
if it's
before.
like
moment,
I mean,
it's not
nothing
gonna
was
solve the
we all
problem.
knew they weren't
Let's
gonna
say
do
it go
that.
before I
I just
go.
have a quick
But
question.
I got something to say though.
I have a quick question, and my question is this: right before you give your next response, I hope you can just respond to this. Who are some of the better second and third options in this league right now? And that's really my question, right? Because we're looking at a paradigm of players, right? Like
Chris
a team is not
Middleton.
successful without a top 10 player on their team, right? Like the teams who are successful have a top 10 player on their team. So then, who are the second and third guys that we see that are making it work? And who are some of you guys' favorites and most efficient or whatever you want to call it? I know I'm in this bar and it's loud as shit. I'm leaving, but I would just love to hear who, because when we talk about Ingram and we talk about Randall, we're acknowledging that they're second and third options, right? Even if they don't know they are, because they're on teams that need them to be more than what they actually are. Who are some of your favorite second and third options on some of these
Chris
teams?
Middleton definitely has to be up there.
Chris
So
Middleton.
I'm putting AD. I'm putting Jalen
Oh
Brown.
wow.
I'm putting Bam Adebayo. I'm putting well, see, like
Drew Holiday.
well,
Just
Drew
say
Holiday to me is kind of not really a two.
Well, he's a 2 or 3.
Yeah, like I mean, just on their roster, I would put Middleton as a two. But I feel you.
Jamal Murray by far for
Yeah,
me.
Jamal Murray.
Play.
I
I say Klay
mean, you could
Thompson.
say Chris Paul.
I was about to ask, will you have Devin Booker?
Well,
It's
I
either
would
one.
put Devin Booker as the one for that team.
I mean,
Personally,
he's the number one scorer, but I don't think he's like. I
I
mean, it's
mean, if
like
you
how are we defining the one and the
I'm
two?
pretty
Are we
sure
just
we're
like
talking
he's the
I
about
number
think
one
who
at this
scorer?
scores the
moment in
ball,
time, I think
right?
at this moment
I think we're talking
we
about
have
scoring.
Yeah.
I think we're talking
Just say
about scoring. But hold
but
usage.
on,
I
I just
really,
want to be
but this is the
clear.
thing though. I
I just
really
want to be
want to
clear
get
because
to
I
this
asked the
point
question.
because
I
I
asked the
feel like
question.
y'all gonna
Kyle
say
Lowry
that
is an
about the
underrated
roster.
third option.
So
I really
not
want to
only are
get
we
to this
talking about
point
scoring,
because I feel like it's gonna piss Sean off, and I feel like it's really toxic.
All right, listen, y'all are talking over each other like shit. You what? Relax. Thrash and Cedric are both trying to say something. I think Cedric was in the middle of saying something first. Cedric, you go then Thrash.
Cedric first, then Thrash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying when we were trying to define second and third option, I think I was speaking about it being one coming from a perspective of scoring, but then also defense leadership, right? Like I'm looking at it. Chris Middleton is not the leader of the Bucks, but we know he's a closer, right? Like, so he's the second option, but like they need him in that fourth quarter. Like they need, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think when we're talking about these second option, third options, it's people knowing their role and excelling in their role, but also like having some sense of understanding of their role and leadership in that. So I just wanted to define it from that perspective that this is somebody who can score, or this is somebody who is a defensive anchor of a team in a way that impacts games, whatever that may be. So it doesn't always have to be a scorer, but it's somebody who is going to be able to impact the game in a meaningful way, night in and night out.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said Bam too was like high on my list because it, defensively as well. But so this is the thing about Sean and this Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle thing, right? So the thing about Julius Randle, he's very ball dominant. Okay, you have a guy in RJ Barrett who, when we saw him going all the way up through his career, like even when he went to Duke, he shot the ball basically as much as Zion. So he's a guy that needs the ball in his hands. If you put him next to a Brandon Ingram, I feel like he can blossom as a player much more quickly and much more than putting him next to a Julius Randle, who he's not going to get that opportunity to be himself. Because RJ Barrett off the ball is a much worse player than RJ Barrett with the ball in his hands. And I feel like that could be holding your team back, where you
Right.
say,
I just want to say
okay.
this to you. I want to say this to you real quick. You must have missed live from the Mecca. Sean agrees with you. He agrees.
Well, no,
with
he
you.
said
no,
Julius.
He said you won't see the best of RJ Barrett if he's next to Julius Randle. Sean has said that he's on the record with that.
Bing bong.
But then he says, if you put Ingram, who can play off without being ball dominant, next to him, that it won't make them any better. It won't do anything for him, which I disagree with.
I'm saying if your two best players are Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett, how many games are you winning?
No. I don't think the conversation was ever okay. Well, maybe I did say it like that, and that's just bad, like on my part. But I think it's more of like the future of the team. I feel like is brighter with Ingram on that roster instead of Randle. I'm not saying that if you just swap them, they're going to be like the number one seed or a high whatever seed, right? I'm not saying that. I just feel like if you took Randle, like you were saying earlier, right? Like Randle and Toppin play the same position, right? Like you're not getting to see the best or what the best version of Toppin could be because Randle's on that roster. You could say he's kind of holding him back. Like if you put Ingram on that team, I mean, I don't know how your roster is currently set up right now, but like I imagine you put like RJ at the 2, Ingram at the 3, let Toppin be the 4, and I don't know who your point guard is, but like it's like you're gonna have more opportunities for your young guys to shine because Ingram can play a different position.
But that's my question. Is like, so that brings up the question of what do you see the ceiling of Toppin and Barrett being? Because I get it, like, and I agree, like, if Barrett's with Julius Randle, he's not going to get his full potential tap. But what do you see RJ Barrett being? Because like if you're gonna say, well, we see what we see with Julius Randle, and that's not a championship, team or whatever, which I agree with. If you're gonna go strictly forward with trying to make Barrett that guy, or let's say you get Ingram and you start, trying to get the team towards that. Like, to me, I don't see that big of a difference between building a team around Ingram or building a team around Randle, because as I said earlier and Cedric repeated, these are second and third options. So honestly, both of these guys really should be trying to see who they're going to join with, because they're not winning anything with those two as with them being the number one option. So like for me, I think it's one or the other better, sure, but I think it's not by that much. Like I think you'll look and be like, they really didn't change anything. So that's why I think the argument kind of gets useless at a certain point, because at the end of the day, neither of these guys are really doing anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Derek or Durante go real quick, but I'm just gonna say like this. So it's like how I was thinking about it is like if you had Ingram instead of Randle on that team, right? You could potentially get Barrett to look better, get Toppin to look better, and then if the day were to come that some star player wants out or the team's willing to trade that player, now you got a better version of Barrett, you got a better version of Toppin, and now those assets look better to the acquiring team. Like now, I feel like if you tried to like get a trade for a player, or whatever,
I agree with Edward's points. I gotta say, I was a little bit swayed. I think initially I would have, me personally, wanted Randle slightly more, but thinking about it, I think Ingram. I agree with most of your points. I guess everyone kind of is in agreement here, which is fun because it never happens. Oh, my bad. Did my whole mic just cut out?
After you said we agree and that it doesn't happen quite often, it was silence after.
Rip. Okay. Terrific. I was gonna say I think Ingram is a better complementary piece overall. He's an easier plug and play for most teams. I think there are a few situations where Randle really could shine as a second, as you said, a third option. I think there are instances where if you staggered his minutes more with a bench, he would look really good as the playmaker hybrid point forward that we see him in New York. Obviously, we agree that him being a number one is not exactly high playoff expectations overall, unless he has a really good supporting cast. And I think Ingram isn't the same ceiling raiser, but again, is a better plug and play. And I've said the same thing to Edward's point and others, that Barrett needs the ball in his hands more to grow as a facilitator. I think that'll really unlock things in his game, and I think really raise his ceiling overall if he gets to play make a bit more. That doesn't necessarily mean Barrett's the key to the Knicks championship, quandaries, but I think it's worthy of experimentation. I just think you're in a tough spot because Randle's the better player right now, and Tibbs is not exactly a nuanced head coach that wants to experiment. So it's a dilemma, but I do think it's interesting, and I think overall I don't love Brandon Ingram's game, but I respect his portability and prowess as being a good auxiliary piece.
Tibbs will experiment and he will tinker. That was a lazy take. Derek, I expect better from you than that.
Sean, I would love to see the experimentation then. But I want Durante.
Wait. Hang on real quick. We gotta let Durante go.
Yo, I just got a question. How are we defining a first option? Like, is that just the best player on the team? Because I feel like obviously LeBron is the best player on the Lakers, but AD, offensively, is probably the first option in most cases.
I don't even think that's
That's
true.
the question that I was asking Durante, because it's I feel like a lot of people look at number one option as the top scorer. So that's why when someone brought up Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns, I get he's the top scorer by far, but I think Chris Paul might be the best player on that team, just on how he impacts them from a playmaking standpoint, like the leadership that he brings, the fact that he actually plays better defense than Booker, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's just the question.
Okay, so real quick. Wait, please. I know. I'm sorry. That whole Chris Paul leadership thing, man, that's all I have to say.
Look, all I'm gonna say is I saw what the Phoenix Suns look like with that same roster for the 2 years prior. And Chris Paul shows up, they added fucking what's his name, the wing that's been on fucking like the Lakers.
Kyle Bridges.
No,
the Lakers.
Who's the Crowder? Yeah, they added fucking Crowder. I know they added some other bench
Oh,
players.
Crowder, Jake Crowder.
But it's like they added Chris Paul, and that team just functions a lot better. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really sick. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know it was Chris Paul's leadership that got DeAndre Ayton to catch that lob, and at the end of the game against the Clippers, that we know it was all about Chris Paul's leadership. Then I'm just like, it's just like I heard that shit so much in the finals, and I saw what was Bridges like master's degree. It was so much happening, bro. I just got tired of hearing it. But like you're making good points. I'm just saying like that whole I am so sick of hearing 7-foot wingspan, KD's toe on the line, Chris Paul's leadership, just it's the offseason. You can blame it on the offseason. I'm sorry.
I gotta go, guys. This was fun.
He's out, Sean.
Well, functionally, all right,
Peace,
Sean.
guys.
I mean, well, functionally, communication does matter on defense. So,
Well, yeah, and Chris Paul's like a god at it. But
Right.
anyway, as much as I'd love to sit here and piss all over Chris Paul's leadership, Paulo right now is absolutely destroying chat. Destroying.
I ain't gonna lie. That's honestly why I jumped up in there, because this is the first time I've seen him play live. And,
Hey, what's up, Shane?
First off, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I just got home. I just got home got off of work after working 12-hour Black Friday.
Paulo for 3.
12-hour Black Friday. You
shout out
everybody.
Shout out to
Yeah,
shout
you
out
know
to
what I'm saying?
Shane. 12 hours on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get this on recording. Shout out to my boy Shane. It's
That's
people
a great
like
yard shift.
that do the things that people like us aren't.
Yeah, man, it was, it's all good. We ain't got no phones left, literally, but it's all good. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Got kick with their family, all that. If I didn't see it to tell you happy Thanksgiving, shout out to all y'all. But let's get to the shits. Bruh's killing Chet.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie
Paulo
to you.
busting
Bruh's
that
killing
ass.
Chet. It's
That's
the
a
first time I've
fact.
seen him play live, and he looks like he looks like him right now. He looks like him. Panchero looks like him. He looks like a guy that's obviously physically ready for the next level, and like when you're just that much more talented than everybody else on the court, you don't really have to understand the nuances yet. So I haven't seen him in a situation where he has to kind of outthink people yet, which it's early. He's fucking probably 18 years old, so I'm not there yet. But as far as physically and instincts, he's there already. I'm good. I've seen what I need to see. So
Yeah, he's my
I'm just saying how it translates.
Is Chet really like that? Like, is he really like that? Like, because all I saw,
Yeah.
I kept hearing people say that he's like he could shoot and all this stuff, whatever. But like whenever I would watch his hoop mixtapes, it's only him dunking. I never saw him tip any type of jumper, any type of footwork.
Pause. He's just long as fuck, pause, and he's obviously skilled at that size. So that just kind of you're gonna be good if you're that tall and athletic and skilled. Now,
But like, is
how that
him being
translates to
that
him
skinny
playing?
not gonna factor in on the next level? Like I get KD
Yeah,
was
it's
skinny, but I felt
100%.
like KD
I mean, in
came
fact,
in with some more muscle.
because he's not even so he's not as muscular, which isn't saying much. He's like skinnier than Brandon Ingram coming out. You know what I'm saying? And he's not as skilled at this point as either one of those two players coming out. So that's going to be a problem at the next level. But he does have a place. Obviously, it's just how he develops is going to be determined by physically how he holds up, and if he continues to develop skill wise.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching the Blue Devil Gonzaga game, and he looks like the best player on the floor right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The Panchero is. I mean, he looks like him right now.
I
Like,
mean, shit, Chet can't even
he's
play. He
balling.
got
I
two
ain't gonna lie.
fouls. He got 2 fouls already. He can't even play for real. I mean,
well, one of them was on Panchero because Panchero just babied his ass. Like, he just
baby, this
drove right
shit,
at his
yeah,
chest and just bought. Like,
that's a fact.
you too little, you too small, little boy. Get your ass up.
And like
You know
the
what I'm
thing
saying?
is, right?
So,
Like I like athletes
Panchero
that
is
got like skill like that, but the thing is, Paolo looks complete. Like he's a bruiser. His passing game is
exactly.
strong. He can shoot.
He can get the ball. He can get the ball off the rebound, take it coast to coast, and either
Exactly.
finish or dime at easily. And he doesn't look uncomfortable doing either one.
Right.
He can play make for others. He can shoot from the perimeter. I'm not trying to sound like fucking bottle stop, but like he looks complete, like you said.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That shit like it's just levels to it.
Man, why does it feel like Duke is the only school that gets these like dudes that are like just legit coming out of high school. Because like
you said
I
you said
like
Did you not see Kentucky? Did you not see Kentucky a couple years ago, bro?
No, hold on. Hold on. Like I know Kentucky's had guys, but like it feels like most of the Kentucky's guys, they were like a high 4-star, like a low 5-star guy that was good, but like I'm talking about like the guy that everyone knew in high school. That guy, he's gonna be.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch John Wall's mixtape, bro? Did you ever
Okay,
watch
you're talking about 10 years ago, dog.
I mean, you said why is Duke the only guys who ever gets them? 10 years ago ain't that long. Like, what are you talking about?
Edward,
Yeah.
hold on. Edward, can you tell me who that guy was on the Duke Blue Devils last year?
I feel like I feel like you're kind of talking about the last like
in that same stretch, right? Like Jason Tatum. I'm from St. Louis. Maybe it's a St. Louis thing, but like we all knew Jason Tatum's that guy. We all knew Jason Tatum's gonna be a star in the league one day, right? Brandon Ingram, same shit. Zion, same shit. Kyrie, same shit. It feels like the Kentucky's had a lot of good guys that have come into the league and been raw, but like it feels like a lot of them, besides AD and John Wall, like a lot. Like no one thought Devin Booker was gonna be as good as he is. No one thought Tyler Hero was going to look. Icon did, but no one thought.
I just feel like you're kind of being recent. Like the recency bias is kind of showing right now because, like, everybody knew that John Wall and Cuz were like that.
Okay, but
everybody.
Shane,
that's what I'm saying.
Shane,
like,
I'm talking. Like you're going back to 2010. I'm talking like.
Hold on. What's the
well, that's what I'm saying. You're making it seem like people like basketball started 5 years ago.
But I'm talking about in a recent run right now.
What even is the point? Like, what's the point? Like, what are we making?
Why is Duke the only people getting people in the last 5 years? I mean,
Hey, can I
I
add
feel like
something?
that's not much of a statement. I guess is what I'm.
Oh, Zion? Oh, I mean, fuck.
I got it. So like he said like recently like Duke has gotten a lot of 5-star recruits and stuff like that. So that's why I asked, can you tell me who that guy that you're talking about last year on my blue?
No, you're right. Like I said, no, you're right. Like last year, there wasn't really one. You're right about that. Last year, there wasn't one.
Who was the year
Duke is
before
going to
that?
be number one because they're like the Blue Devil, like literally.
Like it's all about recruiting, but also like the reason why we got so many stars this year was because this is Coach K's last year, 1, and 2. Like there's been multiple times where we've come in with the 3rd or 4th recruiting class, you know, guys decommitting and stuff like that. I mean,
just feel like it's
not
all
much
about a statement. Like, why is Duke the only guys who between 2016 and 2019 got like that's not even what kind of statement is that?
But also, Shane, it's not even about that. It's about like you got the I don't want to call it the G League. You know what I'm saying? Like they're paying dudes now. So you got a lot of recruits who are like not even going to college and just going straight over there. So like, you know, it's not the days of teams.
You also have fucking Memphis stealing everyone.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Memphis has turned to a problem right now.
Everybody wants to play for Tim Hardaway.
Yep. Whoa! Wasn't fucking Tyrese Maxey literally just a 5-star that came out of Kentucky that's fucking balling?
Yes.
Yep.
I think he's talking about a level above Tyrese.
We could have a different conversation about that later. But the point that I'm making is that I'm talking about a guy
like
that
Tatum.
a Jason Tatum, a Kyrie, a Zion, a guy that you saw you watch his Hoop mixtape, you go, okay, that guy is gonna be like Amani Bates. Right, like Amani Bates. Like I don't know how y'all feel, but I think Amani Bates is gonna be a star. Yeah. I think Amani Bates is legit. I think Amani Bates.
You're kind of ruining your point right now.
Yeah, you are.
How am I ruining my point?
Because you just said why is Duke the only people who get those guys?
Oh, okay, I know what you're saying.
Said another guy.
I know
another school
who's not on Duke.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you're kind of trying to bump up Duke when they don't need it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I got you.
We got 5 rings. You definitely don't need it.
I'm so confused though. Like, what the so it's that Duke gets more stars?
It's a weird statement. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess he's trying to ask like, why is Duke like the front runner for like the best players type shit?
I don't even know anymore, y'all.
Okay.
We're like that. It's okay.
Like y'all ever have an idea in your head and like you think it sounds like makes perfect sense, and then you say it, and then people talk back to you like, you know what, maybe that wasn't,
bro.
I'm having those moments right now.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say because I'm really looking at Kentucky's basketball class this year, and they literally have 3 5-stars coming right now.
Yeah, but like you look at Kentucky's last couple
Jalen, I wasn't
years.
gonna do
And
that.
Sky Clark's a fucking beast.
It's like it's kind of rough. It's like it's not like the same Kentucky that it used to be anymore.
I mean,
Kentucky was on a run for a little bit where it was like
you
they
are
just had
making
dudes.
this worse for yourself, okay? Because Edward, even first of all, Senor, are you straight? You going somewhere?
Boy, saying you ain't whipping his shit.
All right, okay.
I got him.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it, and I don't agree with anything Edward said while I'm looking at it.
Edward, what I'm saying is, I remember when Kentucky had Karl Anthony Towns, and they were undefeated, and they lost to Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always about like players. It's also about coaching staff and culture as well. And so, like I said, we won the chip that year.
How you lost?
And I don't think I think we could have beaten Kentucky. I don't think we would have, but I think there was a way that would have happened. But when they lost to Wisconsin, I already knew immediately we would have won the chip. You know what I'm saying? So like,
been top 2 recruiting since 2018 every single year. Like
what?
Kentucky's been top 2 in recruiting every single year since 2018. Like,
sure have.
I feel like God rest his soul, but like Terrence Clark was a 5-star that went to Kentucky that was going to get drafted. Like they get 5 stars.
See, but Terrence Clark, like I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead right now. I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead, but like Terrence Clark, it wasn't even a Terrence Clark thing. Like that whole Kentucky team, like none of those guys.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying like those guys. Like you're saying like everybody knows this guy's going to be an all-star for a decade. Like I know what you're saying.
Right.
But it's like Kentucky had a run very similar to what Duke had like 5 years before that. So it's like when you make that statement, it's like it's just.
But like what I'm trying. Okay, I guess what I'm saying right
Quickly,
now is I feel like I'm seeing a shift. I guess that's the way I'm trying to phrase it.
And there's not a shift. It's just a run. There's been a shift and a run.
Like where? Because Duke was like, I'm confused. What do you mean?
Because when Kentucky was on their run, Duke was also on a very similar run.
Right, Duke was right there. Like we were right there. Like it was competitive.
Yeah, so like it's not a shift. It's just Duke is just doing it better than anybody else right now. That's all it is.
Kentucky had their run, right? They had John Wall, they had fucking Boogie, they had Cat, they had AD, then Book came along and turned into a guy, and then Fox came along and turned into a guy. Randall turned into a guy.
Like that's what I'm saying. That's a run, very comparable to.
I'm saying like the Fox 16 high school class. They turned like that. It kind of moved from Kentucky, and now you're looking at Tatum. You're looking at Zion. If you want to count RJ, fine, whatever. We'll see what he ends up turning into. This Paolo guy now. I'm saying like I'm just.
You do realize
maybe I came out and phrased it wrong, but I guess what I was trying to say.
But the only difference here is they're both getting 5 stars. Just one 5 stars just happened to be better.
Yeah, and I think he was just trying to give Duke props when they didn't need to have props because we all knew what Duke's recruiting class looks like. So it's like we know Duke's on a run right now, but Kentucky or North Carolina or whoever is going to come around and go on another. It's just how it works. It's like people go on runs, 5-year runs all the time.
Yo, guys, I want to tank for Tank. I want to tank for Paulo, man. Fuck it, man. I want to tank for Paulo. Man. The dude is He's hooping, man. The dude has a nice offensive package, and his passing, man.
Nah, his passing is good.
His
pass is the biggest thing that has impressed me so far.
Can I say one thing, y'all? I just want people to know, like, when I get it, like the players and everything are important, but like, don't take Coach K for granted. Like on a serious note, I don't care who you root for at the end of the day. Like, this man has been a part of the college basketball world for as long as I've been alive, and longer than that. I'm 22. So like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's not necessarily a Duke fan, but like at the end of the day, like I just want to make sure everyone appreciates greatness, because like after this year, like it's it. That's it. So but he is balling.
I get it.
He has a legitimate argument for greatest coach of all time.
Like I get it, and I would love to give him credit. I really would love to give him credit, and he deserves it.
You're just talking about college basketball,
but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that Zion and like Grant Hill were going to be like really good at basketball.
I'm not talking about just college basketball either.
Wait,
also Dylan, you also got to get him to your program, Dylan. You got to get him to play for your team.
I mean, that's
you got to get him to your program just to lose the
Coach K has an argument for greatest coach of all time. Is that
wait? Hold on, so Shane, were you saying
Coach K,
like greatest college basketball coach?
No, I'm talking about he
He has a legitimate argument for the greatest coach of all time.
Period.
Of all coaches, of all sports.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
I'm not trying to tell you he is. I'm not making that statement.
No.
I'm just
Change that
saying
point.
he
Just
has
think
a
about it.
legitimate argument.
Like Nick Saban, people have Nick Saban, and that, but
He's
also
in the upper echelon of coaches. Period.
Is
that's
he?
not.
Not
It depends on.
sadly.
What are you talking about? Yeah, name 10 coaches in any sport better than Coach K.
Okay,
He has an argument.
right now.
Bill
It's a long
Belichick.
list.
It's a long list, and I'm just. But
It's right. It's a long. I can name people.
My point in making that statement.
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
He's
My
in that
point.
conversation.
Listen.
He's in the conversation.
My point in making that statement is his
resume.
Resume. That's what I'm looking for. His resume stacks up just as good
as anybody else.
Anybody else you're gonna say. That's my point.
Anybody else.
Yo, this Mark Williams
in any sport. Nick Saban, Bear Bryant, fucking Coach John Wooden, Pop, whoever your resume is, Coach K's, especially include Tim.
I'm going to end the stream here. I appreciate everyone that stopped by, but we actually got to pause here before we go over 3 hours. Peace out. We'll be back with the locker room on Monday. We'll catch y'all. Peace.